105.1 TMC kana silang bandahan at ginagam Manila. They were actually a national phenomenon back in the day. Cliche and 24 hours requested. Good morning to Mar Steven, our friend from the banking industry. Daghang salamat mo diya, Mar. Musta naman kadi sa imong industriya sa banking? So, dugay-dugay na kini sa kitabaw sa Union Bank, I think. If I am
If you're surprised nga no makadungog mo na ako sometimes off if we are off if I'm off mic, meaning to say nagtukar ang kanta sa kahanginan sa inyong mga FM bands. Usahay kung naa mo sa YouTube makadungog ka na ako og istorya. Amo gito yun na para makaistorya pa mi sa amo ang mga paminaw. Our YouTube listeners, our streamers, we call them wild. We are playing the music on the radio because I think the problem with the radio is, the problem with YouTube is kanang kung naat metay itukar nga mga kanta, murag ilahang i-flag, ilang i-mute or ilang i-take down or dili ta maka-monetize sa ato ang YouTube. So may tabuan na it's amo lang pagngon ang music when you're listening to YouTube. Makadungog gyapon mo siguro sa tukar just a little bit because of the microphone. May makapick up na gamay pero as much as possible, of course, YouTube is just about conversation. So kung maganan ka makikistorya nako o istorya namo karon taud ni Justine Narvios, mo na imong buhaton mo. Adto lang ka sa YouTube Tops Media Center. Yata mag-istorya anay. Maayong buntag mo diya, Kuya Magic. Thank you so much for listening. Mar Steven, and our conversation today is OFW Blues. Murag atong mga kaigsuunan nga nanrabaho in town sa layo nga dapit. I'm wondering what their challenges are or how they're able to cope, how they're able to tawagan nila kanang murag dili na sila mingawon unsa milang gibuhat, especially kato ang mga naay mga bana asawa or maybe perhaps sa kanang naay girlfriend or boyfriend ang nasa layo ni dapit. Yeah. Saan man ninyo? How do you survive a long distance relationship?
5.1 TMC. Anong low kini ang level sa microphone? Anong ni Kuya Magic low magani? Okay, anyway.
It is Miss DJ Summer would like to play a song called Palanga by Shael.
Shael and Palanga going out to DJ Miss Summer.
She's actually based in Moalboal, a DJ in Moalboal. Maayong buntag ni mo diya. Top of the morning to you, Miss Summer. That one is Palanga from Shael, and I love the blues. And bagay ra sad ato ang ato karong buntaga kaya ang atong topic is OFW Blues. So katong mga kaigsuunan nga naminaw sa abroad, far away sa layo nga lugar, onya gimingaw sa ilahang home, sa ilahang mga loved ones. This is the show to listen to. Maybe you can tell us how you cope, how you deal with loneliness. Nga naa mo sa layo nga dapit, nga layo mo sa inyong mga pinalangga. Let us know. Join us in our conversation on the tubes on YouTube at Tops Media Center. I think our website is already up and running, topsmediacenter.com. That's topsmediacenter.com. You can also chat with us. You can send me a voice clip so I can play it on the air if you're an OFW. And maybe I can even air it so your friends and loved ones makadungog sa imong tingog sa kahanginan sa 105.1 sa ilahang mga FM bands. By the way, good morning sa atong mga kaigsunan nga stuck in traffic. Maayong buntag sa kaninyong tanan. Top of the morning. I have a report here of what is this? A fire, I think, somewhere in Apas, ganiyang Kadlaon. at around 2:03. Dave, kung na kayo mga updates sa ning sunuga, na sunog sa apas ko no, a alarm sounded sa atuang BFP Cebu City. So we'll know if there's an actual fire according to our TMC Balita gatherer, si Dave. Maying buntag ni mo diha. According to DJ Summer, she's actually in Talisay City visiting her teta. Saan lang teta as opposed to tita. Anyway, maying buntag ni mo diha at tita. Maying buntag, top of the morning. Let's continue the blues this time with somebody who sounds like, I don't know kung familiar mo ani ko ani kinsa ni nga singera nga taga America si geez, I've completely forgot his name, but I want you to listen to this next artist. Minawa ko no kung kinsa ang iyang pareha og tingog. I actually told him this, that he sounds like that artist that I'm talking about, which we will reveal in a few moments. This one is Vincent Echo.
Sorry guys, we're adjusting the volume level of our music. Salamat ya si Raul. Ang atong gwapo og solid og lawas nga technician si Raul. Gitabangan ko niya pag-adjust atong volume level para dili basag ang atong tingog sa kahanginan. Mayong bungkag, top of the morning to our friends in San Diego, California. Are you kidding me right now? Wow! Daghang salamat nimo diha. Hisoler Zanaiza.
Good morning to you. Maybe you would like to say mayong buntag, top of the morning to your friends and relatives and loved ones here in Cebu or wherever they may be. Okay, I was just there actually a few months ago. I visited San Diego for a little bit, and boy, you have a beautiful place out there. Asa magdapita sa San Diego, you can nagpuy dapita kaning Zanaiza Hisoler. Also, good morning to Ginamus Lami. Lahi ang YouTube og sa stream. Unsay pasabot nimo Ginamus Lami? Unsay pasabot nimo na? Shane Bacalso, request song na Adayon by Ron Mark. Unsa man ni kanta ni Ron Mark or ni request ka ni Ron Mark Shane? By the way, I'm excited about this. Si Miguel, aka K9 of Dice and K9, is listening in the car.
Me and Laika. Laika, my wife.
Laika.
The artist that you're playing right now, I think he sounds like Ed Sheeran. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he sounds like actually, to me, that's actually K9 of Dice and K9. He says it sounds like Ed Sheeran, katong si Vincent Echo. Actually, you're probably right too. There's a part of him that sounds like Ed Sheeran, pero mas close siya ni Bob Dylan bay. Kung maminaw ko ni mura si Bob Dylan. I actually told Vincent Echo that nga bay, mura makag the Bob Dylan of Cebu. Iyang tingog ba kanang pinasyaok bitaw? Kakakuan ka ng pina Bob Dylan. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Laika and K9 of Dice and K9. These guys, Dice and K9, these guys really put the city in the map with their song It's Sumo. And not too long ago, about 20 years ago, that song became a nationwide sensation. And they sort of placed Cebu City in the map, and R&B and hip-hop and rap has grown since they started. When they put the city in the map. Miguel and Dice, this one's for both of ya.
Yeah.
105.1 TMC, the best of us.
Put the city on the map. A lot of y'all hate it, but you cannot fact. Put it in your hand. Put it, go put it in your hand. I say, put the city on the map. A lot of y'all hate it, but you cannot fact. Early 2K, once the trenches, it was hard to make impressions, but we fought to get respect and not attention. Now you got it good, you don't got it reach. Everything's spoon fed, looking like a leech. I say you the man now when you want to preach, but where the fuck you but you can't deny the fact. Put it in your put it. I say who put the city on the map. A lot of y'all hate it, but you can't deny the fact. Put it in your put it.
If it ain't about the music, go find someone else to talk to. Talk about the money, hey, your buddy, I just lost you. Play the same game, but I'm on a league above you. Shooting my shot, even way before your boss. We don't talk about the money, we can talk about the business. Always on the grind, so you gotta make my interest. Killing it at everything, everybody witness. Talking to my dog, he ain't gotta kill my illness. Heck, it's getting hefty, baby, measure for the weight. Always flying first class, ain't running when I'm late. Acting take a little lavish, you can pay for what I hate. Always hungry for the goal, I just gotta fill my plate. I say, who put the city on the map? You claiming that you did it, but we know that's a cap. You think you got it locked down, coming back. Shit's about to go down, it's a wrap, it's a
I
wrap.
say who put the city on the map. A lot of y'all hate it, but you can't deny the fact. Put it in your put it. I say who put the city on the map. A lot of y'all hate it, but you can't deny the fact. Put it in your put it. Don't put it in your head.
Yo, check it. 6015 on, it's felony, yo. Sa'yo sa buntag, ni mata ko para school. Ligodaan to cash, naroon inong kuukul. Gitin sa ang basura, mura po si Jordan Poole. Ang vibe skyway, di pa doon sa Istanbul. Pang international lang ihatag nga para sa inyo ha. Sabi ka ko so, hambak-hambak na sunata. Mga granada, magiplasta sa akong pusa. O pa'y kwarta, wala pa'y bala ang pitaka. Samtang lakaw, alisinin so ka song. Nitingugot niyan, uy, wapakuy kaon. Why kalibutan nga nabaon ko footlong. Sugat upo ang anasya. Life goes on each and every day. Life goes on no matter what you say. Life goes on each and every day. Life goes on no matter what you say. On and on, yeah, listen to my soundtrack. Rapping like the GOAT by the name of Eric Mac. Never fell alone when I'm hanging in my zone. Tryna break my ears with the banging of my headphones. Lugar lang, direct ko sa eskwelahan. Ano man sa
0962-746-3537. That's our 105.1 TMC text line. Once again, ang atong isgutan karon buntaga is OFW Blues. Unsa man inyo ang mga kaaligot, unsa man inyo ang mga complaints, unsa man inyo ang mga gibati nga kamong karon layo sa inyo ang mga kaigsuonan. Katos ang mga listeners nato nga naay mga OFW nga mga paryente, mga loved ones. So kung sila, maybe you could share this link and tell them to listen to us. Or maybe namoy ganahan i-greet, namoy ganahan kanta nga ipahinungod ninyo sa inyong mga kaigsuonan, sa inyong mga paryente, sa inyong mga minahal sa kinabuhi ngadto sa all over the world, wherever they may be. Natay paminaw rin nga namin nga karon sa San Diego City, si Zanair Isolet. Daghang salamat, may bungkag. Top of the morning to you, South Vibes. It is always a pleasure. Sus, I feel so damn good. Mahibaw nga narin naminaw namo karon buntaga sa Top of the Morning with the Jiggy Juice. Our topic for today, of course, is OFW Blues.
Inyong bunso ko. May hika naman si Junior. Nauso, ipatapos natin. Mga Mars, para sa ubo at hika ng mga bata. Plemex for Kids. Ang Plemex for Kids ay gawa sa halamang lagundi. Tinutunaw at pinalalabas ng mema. Ginhawa para sa mga bata. Totoo. Hindi chismis. Camille Pratsiambao po, nagtitiwala sa Plemex.
Efficacy mobile is generic Plemex for kids. Symptoms persist. Consult your doctor.
Mamis, agapan agad ang ubo at plemang nakabara. Pambatang lagundi, Plemex!
Hello, ako si Cornelio Jetruesta, usa ka registered nurse. I believe ang pagtabang sa mga naay sakit ang ako ang calling. Mao bisag risky and kapoy, ready gyapon kumutabang. O syempre, wala po na ginakalimtan akong lawas sa pag-amping. Pinag sa MXC capsule nga naay alpha, beta, o gamma nutrients kauban sa tamang nga pagkaon o exercise. With MX3, makapadayon gyapon sa pagtabang. MX3, dili ko believe.
Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
You are listening to the best of super music from the all
You go to the love.
to the new
Sayang kung LDR.
105.1 TMC.
Hello, guys. Guapitos. Hey guys, everybody tap and share the live, guys. Everybody hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications, guys. We are live. Sheesh. Good morning.
One oh 105.1 TMC. You're listening to Top of the Morning. My name is Jiggy Juice. Ang akong mission to squeeze more life out of your day. How am I doing so far? Let me know. Listen, it's Wilfredo. We have some news here from our friends from Sunstar and Super Balita Cebu. Gipaybaw ang mga motorista nga mogamit sa unang tulay nga magsumpay sa dakbayan sa Lapu-Lapu ug mainland Cebu nga mag-andam alang sa mga simana nga huot ang dagat sa trapiko tungod sa nagpadayon nga pag-ayo sa kalsada. So kanang first bridge nga nagsumpay sa dakbayan sa Lapu-Lapu ug mainland Cebu, traffic will be really bad. So please, you guys be aware of the traffic situation in that area because they're fixing the roads over there. Ayo nga kalsada diyang lugar sa Lapu-Lapu ug sa dakbayan sa Mandaue o mainland. .105.1, that's Katski, featuring a lot of great Cebuano artists in that song. Move, just move, love. Mo na ganay minimum requirement nato ang gipangayo sa kalibutan. Itagaan ng tag, the gift of life, nakapamata or ni mata pamatarang buntaga, meaning to say, you're still alive. That is the original luck, as I always love to say. Mo na una nga pagkaswerte nimo nga nakamata pa ka. Mo na ang imong pagkaswerte. Now, unsaon naman ang imong pagkaswerte nga nakamata pa ka, it's up to you. And of course, as far as that song is concerned, importante nga mulihok lang ka, mubangon lang ka, manutblas lang ka, maligo lang ka, mugawas lang ka sa inyong bahay, mag-ilis ka palihog. And then, you know what they say, kanang, na ako'y paborito nga quote in English. I'm gonna try to translate it in say as much as I can. Okay, kanang matter in motion is more likely to go somewhere than matter at rest. Meaning to say, kung naglihok lang ka, naadyo kay padulungan, kinilihok man ka, kaysa dili ka mo lihok. So, after that original luck, nasultian ka nga nakamatap ka ron buntaga. Because, naay posibilidad nga dako, nga wala kung ka nakamata. Naay posibilidad nga naantay na hitabo nimo. Naay posibilidad nga, the possibilities are infinite. Naay mga possibilities. Nga wa na hitabo nimo instead, nakamata karong adlaw karong buntagan. That's the original luck. Right? Top of the morning to all of you. Daghang salamat may bungkat sa inyong pagpaminaw diha. On top of the morning, you're listening to Jiggy Juice. I'm just waiting for my partner. She's actually on her way. You're stuck in traffic somewhere in Manila. Also, once again, na ako'y mga pahinumdum sa ato mga kaigsuunan nga muadto sa Lapu-Lapu ka ng first ever Lapu-Lapu Bridge. Natay mga kalsada nga diayo kang lugar. So please, if you can avoid that area in the next coming days, kaya traffic yun ang dapita diyan. Naamtay bagong nga bridge. Kaning CCLEX, diyan, dapita sa may seaside, diyan sa New Star, diyan, dapita ka ng SRP. Diyan lang tali kung mahimo, kung dili sa ikaduha nga bridge. Kaya kanibong siyudad sa, kanibong island sa Cebu, for the knowledge of our friends and listeners abroad. By the way, our topic for today is OFW Blues. Sabihin niyo mga kaaligot ko diya sa mga atong mga kaigsuunan sa gawas sa nasod, out of the country. OFWs na trabaho as seamen, as workers in the Middle East, whatever it is that you're doing in the United States, all over the world, because that is one of our greatest and biggest exports, right? Our warm bodies, our brothers and sisters who have to work abroad. Maayong buntag sa kaninyong tanan. Top of the morning to all of the OFWs, our heroes. Daghang salamat sa inyong pagpaminaw. As I was saying, kaning Cebu magud na nitulog major bridges. First ever bridge yun, Mactan Bridge, and then the second bridge we call that the Marcelo Fernan Bridge, named after that Cebuano who became a Supreme Court Justice, si Marcelo Fernan, and I think he also was a senator. And the third and newest bridge nato is the CCLEX. So tulog ang bridge niya, kanang bridge, the first bridge, according to my sources from Sunstar and Super Balita, naidaghan nga mga daan ayuhon ka ng dapita diya sa mga traffic yun ang dapita. So if you can avoid that, please do so at all costs, okay? Because I want you to enjoy your drive. I want you to enjoy this beautiful island we call Cebu. I want you to enjoy sunny Cebu, broadcasting from 2,000 feet closer to heaven. This is 105.1 TMC, the best of us.
I reside in the Southeast Ocean. Your shallow waves in an island that we take.
that setting, but you can't lock that. You can't lock it like lock. No. If it goes off, then you have to start again.
No, it saves.
Because this is good. I like the volume of the microphone. I like the volume of this. It doesn't go red. Everything's perfect. But you have to set it every day.
No, I don't know why it was changed.
But can you lock it? No. And nobody can touch it. That particular setting, no. That particular setting, not the whole thing. By the way, what if somebody calls us from abroad? Where can they call?
Whatever number you give.
But how does it translate overseas? Like if they're listening to us, let's say in another country, they just dial that number. It has to be like a plus whatever, right?
Yeah, or they can call you on Messenger or.
Call a Messenger, right? So we can put them on there here. And they call like, there's no YouTube call, right? It's a Messenger call, right? Good question, right?
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Gun.
I'll figure it out. Let's go.
Listen to the sound of the waves. The sound of Cebu music. Franco. Lost in your universe on 105.1 TMC. The best of us.
I just said the best of us.
My topic is OFW blues, right? So maybe you can talk about you having not being home in Britain. Yeah, I need to talk about that. Let's start with you.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, please. Start here, man. So did it all?
It's a girl. Start here, girl.
So did it all?
It's a girl. It's start here, girl.
No. It's still man. Nag-send ko na siya ng SMS. Nag-send ko ng
So
SMS.
listen to 105.1, the best of you.
What is it? Mo ang TMC, usa sa mga pinaka-bukat nga banda na nagikan diri sa siyudad sa Subo. Franco! Oh my God. I'd love to see him perform that live. I mean, I love his previous work. Nindot sa to yung mga karaan na kanta sa katong Manipulator and Castaway. Pero karong kanta ha, ngilngig sa ta. Mas ngilngig, mas humba ni Mama. Hey, we have some news here about the CC Lex V-Hire Transport Cooperative. And a student expressed doubts about using CC Lex if a proposed toll-free of 8 pesos to 51 pesos is approved. If you want to know more about that news item, please go to Sunstar Cebu on Facebook, okay? Yung increase na nila ang toll fee of 8 pesos ilang pasak 8 pesos to 51 pesos. Ano dako na ginambera na sa atong mga estudyante. Diyan napita. Ang atong hisgutan karon buntaga is OFW Blues. Ako ning kaning tapad na ko ring kada buntag samok-samok nato. Si Kuya Magic, samok-samok na ako, so nagsamok-samok.
Good morning!
Kani siya, dili ni siya taga syudad sa Subo, Langyaw ni siya. Kani siyang tawhana, kaning gimingaw po ni sa iyang pamilya. In fact, sometimes, maminaw ko ani niya sa kaning sa pikas na room, ang suryana mi, mag-meeting kunoy, mag-hindi.
Na siya, magmaoy na siya. Mag-complain na siya how much he misses his dad sometimes and all of that
Uy.
stuff. So, my buntag at top of the morning to you, Kuya Magic.
Mon butag to everybody down there in the city. What's up? And all around the world.
Yeah.
Kamusta? How are you today, Jiggy?
Kumbati gyapon.
Oh.
Kumbati.
Ayos lang.
Ayos lang, something like that. But kumbati is like ready for war. Kumbati.
Mabuti.
No, mabuti is Tagalog.
Kumbati.
Kumbati is ready for war. So if somebody asks you, kamusta naman ka? Kumbati, you're ready.
I'm ready for war.
Yeah, whether I like it or
I'm
not.
ready for the Jiggy Juices. Let's go.
Let's squeeze more life out of your day.
Let's go.
Kuya Magic.
Yo, hello world.
Kaning maing buntag sa before I ask you the question to RJ of Kanduman. Maayong bungkag nimo diha. Top of the morning to you, RJ of Kanduman. Ingon siya nag-request siya og Dandansoy Millionaire. Di mo ko makita ning kantahan. Nangita man ko ning kantaha. RJ, maybe you can make a little switcheroo and ask for another song. Kuya Magic, atong gisgutan karong buntaga is OFW Blues. Now, you have been living in Cebu for a long time, a dozen years now, right? Maybe you can tell us, how did you deal with missing home? Because you were born and raised in Britain, and I'm sure it was a huge adjustment for you to settle here in these beautiful islands of the Philippines. I know the Philippines is beautiful and all of that stuff, and you have a beautiful family here, but still, I mean, you must miss home. What did you do, especially in the first few years of your life here in Cebu?
Yeah, well, first of all, good morning, everybody, and welcome to TMC 105.1, our podcast kind of thing. Come and join us on YouTube. And come and say hi. And we have a live chat right now. Tops Media Center. Come and chat to us. Come and see us behind the scenes. That's one of the reasons why I'm here, because I can do this fun.
Oh, man.
So
be careful. Sometimes I scream my head off when I'm trying to pump myself up. So please, okay, when you see me scream my head off, I'm not going crazy. Wala pa ko nabuang gamay na kuwang, pero wala pa ko nabuang. I'm just trying to pump myself up, because it's important that I'm pumped up before I pump you up, right? Kaya kung ako gisapot ko, kung ako I'm not in a good mood, I'm in a foul mood, how can I make you feel good, right? So important thing, it starts with me, and it starts with you, and it starts with us, Kuya Magic. So my question to you, Kuya Magic, how do you deal with loneliness?
How do I deal with the loneliness? Well, I mean, I've been here 12 years here in the Philippines, but before the Philippines, I lived in Greece for 6 years.
Wow.
So I think it was more of discovering my inner self and discovering, like I was always bedbound when I was at home. I was always laying in bed and programming and scouring the internet and not really doing much, always staying in bed. And, I needed to change that really. So, I kind of wanted to go and explore other countries. So I became a DJ in Greece for 6 years. And then I came home and stayed at home for a few months.
Home meaning Britain.
Home meaning England.
England, okay.
So, I was already kind of used to being away from home, with frequent video calls, obviously. But, now when I came here to Cebu, I came here for a vacation, a 2-week vacation to see the office. I was software programmer for Facebook and YouTube before and working in development. So I came to see the office here, and that was a 2-week vacation, which I extended to 3 weeks. Then I extended to 4 weeks. Then I extended to 5 weeks, and they said, sorry, you can't extend anymore. So, yeah, the rest is history, really.
So you're all alone. You're always lying down. That is actually a recipe for for depression, right? If you're always lying down, cooped up in your bed,
not really.
in your corner of the room,
No,
and
not
you,
really.
you don't interact with.
It was
people.
where I was more comfortable to work.
Really?
You know, like as a programmer.
Yeah.
If you go to Google and you go to YouTube offices, you'll see that all their best programmers are in bed because they can work better laying down. So I guess that was why I was always in bed. I was never in bed because I was sad. I was in bed because I was discovering.
But
learning.
but you had fewer and fewer human interaction.
Yeah.
Face to face interaction. You probably will interact with your family and friends.
Yeah.
Through the internet.
I couldn't look at anyone in the eye before. I would always talk.
Are you serious right
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Really now?
I couldn't.
You could not look anyone in the eye before. This was how long ago, man?
This was probably about 15, 16 years ago.
Why couldn't you look anyone in the eye? That is
'Cause I was
very
just-
peculiar.
I was just kind of like, very
Shy? Would you-
self-conscious, I guess. And I don't know. I was just like,
So you didn't have any like inner.
I guess it's kind of being like a programmer kind of thing. You don't really know how to interact. Like if you stare at someone, you don't know.
what to do.
Yeah, kind of thing. That's why I went to Greece.
Okay.
And it broke me out of that. I had no choice but to stare at people. Otherwise, I would have lost my job.
wait. So you were a programmer, and you were also a DJ in Greece. So did you do both in Greece?
Yeah, I
or
did.
did you? So you did both.
Yeah, I developed the karaoke system for most of Greece,
What is
which
that?
was Winamp.
What does that mean?
Winamp. I don't know if you know Winamp.
Of course, I've heard of women.
I co-developed that.
Really, and then
Yeah.
what happened?
Well, Winamp is still there. You can download it, but I'm not part of it anymore.
What do you mean by karaoke? I don't understand.
So basically, we designed plugins for what we call CDG files, which was the very first type of a karaoke file. So
Okay.
you could download the MP3, and when you push the play button, it would scroll text on the screen. So,
Okay.
aka what karaoke is today is
Okay.
more digital now. So it's the music file on top of the video file. But back in the day, it was a separate music file and a separate video file for the words. So Winamp was the first one to kind of like.
So you were doing
take your
all of that.
existence
You were doing
thing.
DJing, and you were doing programming at the same time in Greece for 6 years. But your social skills improved because you had to, because that was part of the job. Kaya kinanglan makamototok, mutanaw sa mga tao sa ilang mga mata, right? You have to look at them in the eye because if you want to communicate with other people, right?
That's
But
correct.
you were in a strange place. Obviously, you're not from Greece, right? Oh, was that your first encounter of Greece, or have you been to Greece before that? Had you been to Greece before that?
Well, I was working for a DJ agency in England that would phone me up and give me gigs. Say,
Okay.
"Oh, we got a gig for you Friday night."
So you had experience of Greece already before that 6
I already
years.
had a DJing experience before.
in Greece.
Yeah. I mean, I've been DJing since I was 4.
So you had an experience in Greece for 6 years, and you were able to develop a better interpersonal skills. How did that happen? How did you develop that skill?
Well, actually, when I went to Greece, I was hired as a club DJ.
Okay.
And club DJ, you don't interact really with the. You don't interact with the audience. You don't interact much with the with the families.
Okay.
So it was the third day of being in Greece, and the owner said, "I'm closing my bar. I don't want it to be a club anymore. It's going to be a
Okay.
family bar." So
A family bar.
family bar
Sounds
So
like an oxymoron.
I was
right?
like,
A family bar.
I'm not a family DJ. I don't know what to do. So I was walking
you
down.
play, you play like Barney music, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, music, club music. I was walking down the high street crying because I had to go back.
Crying.
I was crying.
You were walking in the high street crying.
I was crying.
How
yeah.
can you be walking in a street called High Street? Why would you be crying?
Well,
in a
yeah.
place called High Street.
Well, I was upset. I
You
was
were
upset because I had to go back to England
Okay.
after 2 days of being in Greece.
All right.
And then a drag queen came running
A
out.
oh my God.
Yeah.
So you were walking in High Street crying, and a drag queen came out. This sounds like a beautiful story, man. So
It is.
Go ahead,
Let me go.
continue.
So obviously the drag queen ran out, and the drag queen came out and saw this guy crying and walking down the high street, and he was doing a show in a family bar. So he just picked me up, threw me over his shoulders, and dragged me into this bar.
The
and
drag queen dragged
me.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
into the show.
Wow.
And then I just played along with it. And because I played along with him and his show, the owner of the bar hired me as a family entertainer. And that's when I became a balloon modeling,
A
DJ,
balloon model.
magician / like entertainer. Because
Like an all-around entertainer.
I learned it because I didn't want to go home.
Okay.
You know, because I thought my experience has just started, and they don't need a club DJ anymore, and I don't know how to interact with family. So that's when I started learning karaoke. I started learning all of that. So it was like the thing that landed me a job is like I just thought, you know what, the drag queen is making fun of me. I had to dress up and do all these horrendous things to Rocky Horror and the Rocky Horror Picture Show and the time warp.
Okay.
So I had to be the one to kind of like, you know, fire up the crowd and just kind of like be a puppet for him. And in the end, I actually got a job as the DJ.
So you were busy in Greece, right?
Yeah.
So that sort of plucked you out of your loneliness because you were doing all these things. Sometimes, kung busy man ka, you forget about how lonely you are, right? But you were there for 6 years. So what did you do after those 6 years?
So after those 6 years, I mean, Greece has rainy season. So Greece is only 6 months of the year. And then all the tourist season is from like May all the way up to October. You know, like it's a very short period. So obviously, you can either stay for the winter season where there's no tourists, or it's quiet and chill, or you just go home. So I go home, and then there was a change in job position. I kind of left and became a web developer for the hotel just down the street, and then
In England?
in Greece.
In Greece. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was developing the website there for
Okay.
them. That only lasted 2 months.
Okay.
Because I wasn't really enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came home, and then I got picked up to go to Lloret de Mar to Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did 2 years in Lloret de Mar.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did 2 years in Tenerife as a club DJ again.
Okay.
And then I just decided, right, you know, I need to change my lifestyle because it wasn't really healthy. It was vodka orange every night.
What is that?
It's like a screwdriver. It's like just
Oh my
vodka
God.
orange
Okay.
every night
In Spain?
in Spain.
Okay.
You
Was this
know?
like anywhere near Ibiza or no?
Ibiza is in Spain. Yeah, it's the other side of.
But where were you performing?
I was performing in Lloret de Mar. I was performing in.
So
in a
were
place
you
called the
were
Queen
you
Vic.
also lonely in Spain? Or was it like
yeah,
a more,
Spain? I was more lonely than in Greece because
Why?
I guess because I was new to the
Okay,
scene and I
okay.
had replaced someone.
Oh.
There was a DJ that kind of left, and I had to live up to an expectation
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Obviously, in Greece, it was different.
Was
Because
it like Calvin Harris? Who did you replace? Calvin Harris or Daft Punk?
No, I replaced another DJ. His name
Okay.
was Neil.
Neil.
But in Greece, the person I replaced was the owner because
Okay.
the owner was the DJ. So it wasn't so bad for me. But when I was in Tenerife, it was like I had to replaced someone who was sick.
So how did you deal with a new situation now after being in Greece for 6 years now, and you're in a new place again in Spain, but this time everybody is completely and totally different, strange to you, and you're placed in a very difficult job, right?
Yeah, it was a learning curve. I mean, on the second year, I ran into a glass window, and I saw I sliced my.
You ran into a glass window.
Yeah,
Why would you run into a glass window?
It was the workers. So all the workers were like drinking after work, and we were just playing games. And we were running around the apartments, and I was a little bit drunk to see that they'd slided the glass door closed. So instead of me stopping and opening it, I ran through it, and that's where I lost all the feeling and control of my thumb in my.
So you had a bad accident in Spain,
And that was what kind of like said,
and
I
you were
need to
all
come
alone in Spain still, right?
Yeah. I mean, I had friends, but
there was no family, right? So
No.
So what did you do when you had that accident?
I decided it was time for me to kind of calm down. Because that's when I realized, you're drinking a vodka Red Bull, multiple vodka Red Bulls every night, and you're getting hardly any sleep. I was
Okay.
really skinny.
Mhm.
I lost a lot of weight, and it wasn't something where you could look at yourself and feel like.
I'm
if you were a
curious. Can you
family-
imagine? I'm curious. You've been to Greece, you've been to Spain, and all of that stuff. Why did you decide to leave England? I mean, you could have been this productive
I know.
person close to family, right?
I know, that's a very good question, Jiggy.
Why leave England, man?
Well, my brother as well. My brother, he lives in Halifax in Canada. He moved away. at a young age as well. And it kind of makes me sad sometimes because my parents are like, "What have we done wrong? Why are why are our sons moving away?"
Exactly. I have the same problem. Ako sa mga dua ka anak too. My kids also wanna get the hell out of this country, right? I don't know why. I'm still trying to convince them to stay here. I'm still selling to them. Can you believe that? Selling to them the idea of staying home. I mean, how tough can it be to be home, right?
Yeah.
So my question to you is, didn't your parents sell to you the idea of just staying home?
No. I think they were very supportive of me, and I think like when I was putting double digits, 4 digits, 6 digits in the bank account, I think it was kind of like a point where it was like you grow up fast. Even now, I'm a father myself. It's like the younger years are the most important because they'll be walking out that door in no time. So it's very important to spend time with your kids.
Yeah.
As much as you can.
Okay.
And,
so it's important to be with your kids no matter where you are. So if ever you
at the younger age, So I guess with my parents, like we were home a lot.
Okay.
And I guess it was when we turned 18, 19, we kind of discovered, the real world, to go out into the real world. So, it's more on, I think now I'm a parent and I know what it feels like. I think I would want the best for my kid. So it would be like I would understand it. And it's difficult, but we have technology around now that wasn't around before, like Skype, Zoom, and FaceTime. And I mean, it's not the same as a real hug, but
it's close. It's close.
It's close. It is close. And I mean, like, there's even AI now where you can take a picture of you and your loved one, and it can actually animate together, and so technology is.
So you can actually merge your real life in digitally, right?
So I would say, I know it's difficult, but I think the ultimate end reason why is because of making a brighter future, not just for yourself, but for your family as well.
A brighter future.
And not saying that you can't achieve it in England, but England is too much rain.
But brighter future, it is kind of a nebulous, or what does that even mean? In Cebu, we always have a brighter future. In fact, Justine Narvios is here, and her future is too bright. In fact, it's painful for her sometimes. Her back is always. How many degrees is that of sun rays behind you, man?
Nah, it's fine.
Woman?
It's man, woman. I love how he corrected himself.
Yeah. He did it this morning as well. He was you can come here, man. It's like,
by the way, Queen Magic, thanks for sharing that part of you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, for me, it's just kind of like, if there is something that you want to do in life, you're going to have to make sacrifices. You will have to make sacrifices. And sometimes your family won't understand, or my family did, but I've been in a situation where I know some people have been like, they're not used to it, or they don't want it to change. But ultimately, it's you who decides. And if you are, that question, always think of number one, but it's like,
what does that mean?
If you can't think of, always think of number one, you always have to think of yourself.
Okay.
Because you can't make number two and number three, you're more successful without number one. So you have to do what you've got to do to make things work. And that comes with sacrifice. And now I've gone through a lot of sacrifice to get to where I am. But I think I'm with a loving family and I have a supportive family, which matters. And I know some people out there don't have that. But if there is something that you want to do in your life, that you really want to go for and become, you can do it. I mean, like, I got set challenges in life, and my ultimate challenge was to get, famous, because that is the ultimate one that, someone can't just go up to you and bet you can't be famous. But that's
what number one wanted, to be famous.
It just proves to you that, if you really want something and you grind for it and you religiously go for it every day, you can achieve it. And I never believed that before, but so, now.
Why not?
Now.
Why didn't you believe it? Who told you that you couldn't do it?
It was just more of when I was younger, like if someone said, oh, you're going to be an airplane pilot when you're older, you're going to be like, nah. Yeah. I'm not going to be like that. It's what dreams are made of.
Yeah, but as a kid, aren't you more delusional? Aren't you more idealistic? As a kid, you'd probably know.
Of course, I wanted to be an ice cream man when I was younger, but I hate
because I wanted to be an astronaut, and I totally believed it when I was a kid.
You are, Jiggy.
I know, right?
You're always in space.
Yeah, I'm always spaced out. That's what he's trying to say. Our conversation today with Kuya Magic and with all of you guys, atong hisgutan karong buntaga. First of all, mayong bungkag diha, top of the morning to Justine Narvios.
Top of the morning, everyone. Hey, how you doing?
Ang atong gisgutan karong buntaga, Justine, is OFW blues. Naman tayo mga
Oh.
daghang mga tigpaminaw, especially those that are abroad.
Yeah,
Naminaw na to
away
karon.
from their families.
Gimingaw sila sa ilang mga pamilya. In fact, si Cray Creative. Sir Jigs, lonely na ko diri. Asa man kadapita diya, Cray.
Yeah, where
Yes,
are you from?
guys.
Where are you at right now?
Asa man
Come
kadapita.
to our YouTube channel. We're live.
Si Juni,
Who told you?
Juni Tampos. Top of the morning sa tanan gikan
Top of
sa
the morning.
Dakbayan sa Talisay. Gimingaw siya porting layo.
Talisay.
Porting layuan niya na siya
Yes.
sa Talisay. Mura kinanglan makadiag passport ang lugar dito.
To enter, murag na ay
na visa sa kuan sa
Yes, kailangan.
sa Talisay. Unsa kay currency sa Talisay? Murag lechon, panit lechon sa.
Panis sa lechon.
Panit lechon. So you cannot end their currency there is lechon,
lechon skin.
Legend skin. I can
Yeah.
imagine because it's like that's the most
Lechon
popular
capital.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Lisod kay
It's the first thing to go, isn't it?
lisod
It
kay
is.
lisod kay so sa pitaka ang kaning panit sa lechon.
Like,
Pero naay mga nigpis.
no, you have to bring Tupperware everywhere you go.
Ah.
Magdala ka ng Pyrex nga na ay mga
Buwagas na sayo tayo ko di.
Or pwede na po
And
ka
then-
ng Ziploc.
What do they do? They put it in. Is it packs? Well, they don't waste any. You don't waste any of it, right? It
No,
gets
you don't. You
ground
put
up
it in little Ziploc bags. You
Yeah.
carry them
and then
around.
you put it into a soup, right?
Yeah, that's called paksiw.
Paksiw.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a joke around here.
Ngayon abot naman tawag pagkaon nga atong gisulod currency raman sa
Yeah, no,
sa
no, we're
Talisay
all
nga
hungry.
panit sa manok.
Oh, nagutom.
Panit sa sana ay nasal. Si
delicious.
Joel Lim nangayo siya og our top 10 greatest Cebuano songs in our Facebook page.
Hi, Joel
I
Lim.
missed half of your Monday show since I had delivery errands.
That's fine. That's fine.
Joel Lim actually owns Shawarma Shack. It's actually a
Ooh.
shawarma place. It's a franchise. He has like 3-4 branches here all over Cebu, and he was doing delivery. So maybe we can post
Yeah,
it. We
no
can
problem.
post-
Don't worry, Joel. We'll be putting up the list, especially for everyone who missed it out. So, yeah, we worked very hard, and with all your participation, we were able to come up with the top 10 songs.
Yeah.
We were able to play them on Monday, but for those who missed it, don't worry. We also have the live stream on, like a replay of the live stream if you guys want to check it out.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Once again, ang atong hisgutan karong buntaga is the OFW Blues.
Blues.
Kung naamoy mga paryente, naamoy mga loved ones nga
Abroad.
right? Kaning sulti sila nga maka-join sa atong conversation dito
Yeah.
sa YouTube Tops Media Center on YouTube, on the tubes, on the chats.
On the tubes.
On the chats, we're talking to Joel Lim, Cray Creatives, Juni Damasis, Alvis Damasis. Kani si Alvis ug si Juni pariente siguro ni sila sa?
I think, yeah, I think
Si
so.
Albert De Lima, si Bert South Vibes, JR Doding Espinosa, Ginamus Lami.
Oh, we love Ginamos Lami. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Zia. She's listening all the way from San Diego.
Oh,
Hi, Z.
Z.
So
sa
I
San
think it's
Diego.
like 6 p.m. there, or
Oh.
San Diego. So
if you want, you can send us a voice message, right? So we can
Oh,
air
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Kung ganahan sila mag-greet sa ilang mga pinalangga dire sa Sugbo,
yeah,
maybe
you want to
you
say
can
hi
send
to
us
your loved ones here?
Yeah.
Where would they send it, Jiggy? Send
On
over
Messenger,
to the
Tops
messenger.
Media Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tops Media Center on
Yeah.
Facebook, guys. We had our website was down yesterday due to a upgrade that we've done, but
Yeah.
we're back,
You're
and I
right.
got a new feature for you guys.
Oh my God,
Yeah?
tell me.
Yeah,
What-
you
what-
can
what
now
is the feature?
you can now go to our website
Okay.
topsmediacenter.com,
Okay.
and you can actually see all of the songs that we've played so far today.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
Because then I had friends also messaging me. They're like, "What song did you play earlier?" But I can't keep track. So
Yeah,
now
let me check
we
this.
can
So
just
you
go
can-
over
you
to
can go
Tops
there.
Media
Let me go
Center
to Tops Media Center.
and see a history of the songs played.
Yeah,
Tops.
and we've got a new
Cool.
feature coming as well in the next couple of days where you can actually see what's coming up,
Okay.
Okay.
and you can also feature a song where you can request. And you can also have a feature where you can do some dedications as well.
Wow.
Hey, there's a lot of new
So
features.
many
I'm so excited for
dedications.
that.
Yeah, so if you go to our website right now and scroll down, you can see.
Where is that? Where's the thing that you said?
Yeah, right here, right.
Okay, I'm looking at our website, topsmediacenter.com right now. So where's this? Did I place this?
Yeah,
This
right
one?
now.
This
So
one?
we because
This
we
one?
haven't
This one?
played, we haven't played a song yet. So
No,
it's-
but this is the ongoing playlist.
This is the ongoing.
But you have
playlist.
no
So
history
we
of-
played a jiggy bit.
where
earlier.
this is the one.
Yeah.
So they can request songs and dedicate it to someone else or give a special message. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. And
Hey.
also, if you look at the player on our website, if you look at the player right there, Jiggy, and
Okay.
if you see the little player where it says TMC 105.1 FM on the
Okay,
website,
okay.
the moment you click play on your next song,
Okay.
that will update in real time
Ooh.
the song that you're playing right now.
Whoa.
It gives
How
a-
cool is that?
It is. A
Pretty
lot of our
cool.
viewers get
4
so
a.m.
much
this
power.
morning, programming that in.
This calls for a celebration.
Let's go.
Let's bring it.
Yeah, of course. course, kay her auntie there is a drummer in Junior Kila.
Okay.
So, karon, she's listening to the station, nasa stage, and then she kept asking, "Are you playing Junior Kila?" I said, "Girl, we're always playing Junior Kila almost every day. Kaya daghan mo request. In fact, we're so close to be on the list. She was so happy. She's like, wow, it's so famous there. I'm like, yeah, it is because of the station, huh?" She's like, "I thought they don't play it anymore." I was like, no.
You have a busy day today?
Not really, why?
Dryways is going to come in at around 2 or 3 o'clock to work on their new song.
Yeah, that's cool.
Stick around or...
Dorothy, right? Yeah, I can. Sige, I'll stay here.
Just you might want to throw down some vocals on this track.
Okay, that would be cool. Sige.
The car seat, voice clip.
Yeah, it's coming.
No, but hi, this is Cartita.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming in 3, 2...
What? Timer.
Run.
Can you check something? If you can open something.
Okay.
No. What's your email?
It's medyo taas. So, sige, type din na lang. You know those email names, mataas kayo.
Oh, nice choice, Tricks. This was my password for like 4 years.
Your password?
My password, Sikwati.
What the? Sikwati? Like hot chocolate, but it's a special kind, like a dark, made out of tablea. It's like super concentrated cocoa something, and you're supposed to mix it with hot water, or cook it. That's Sikwati. Like hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa? I love that stuff!
But it's a deeper taste, it's the bitter kind, you know?
Tita, aka Kalidad. Salamat to kayo for supporting local. You are now listening to 105.1 TMC. The
Oh, we need a breaker at the end.
Rahinesa, bro. You need to increase the volume of that.
Yo, drop the glasses and shake the aces. I wanna get with you and I feel like realness. Oh, you made me feel like the good that is out and go.
Let's go yung talk show ni Jiggy. I think a lot of people can relate to it. Mas daghan ni engage. The topic ba, mas daghan people ni engage.
Which one?
The kanang blues. OFW blues.
Blues, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people, mas nila, mas kanang relatable.
That's also...
Are you seeing dancing on the live right now?
Yeah.
That's why. He wouldn't dance for free. It's gotta be covered, man.
Okay. Understand. Can I see the live on my end also?
Yeah.
Baby, you really need to say one. You really need to say one.
Show alcohol on the side, no?
Yeah, it's not my input. Aaron. You really It's like the Sinulog anthem.
For me, it's Bam Bam, I think.
Bam Bam. Yeah.
They actually have a song called "Do It in Bisaya," which is the Sinulog anthem of Karen Sita.
With who? With who?
Cookies.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. Oh, I can see the. Okay, I can see the live and all the comments now.
All right.
Wow! Shout out to DepEd Regional Office 7. Hi DepEd, please.
It's so weird that everything opens here at 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
Right?
but there's so many. You know, when I arrived, like 9 or 8, so many visitors already.
That's
Like
why.
families, bakay, they're trying to get the most out of their day, so di wala nila ang
Oh, lagi.
Yeah, halos wala pre. So like, ako yung mag-view ra, wala kaon ba? I think they give time for their employees to prepare everything pa.
But still, man, like, it's gotta be what happened.
Yeah, dapat na open na. Something cute?
One to 5.1 TMC, the best of us. Top of the morning to everyone. You're listening to Jiggy Juice. Right across me is
Justine Narvios. Top of the morning, everyone. We have a lot of shout outs here on the chats. So Ferdinand Alba, top of the morning. Shout out to DepEd Regional Office 7.
Kulban Masdana. Department of Education.
Department of Education.
Regional
Office 7. So thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see who else here on the
Albert
chat.
De Lima. Nice data. Metadata. What does that mean? I don't know. What are you talking
Nice. Naanay metadata.
What does that mean? What's it
So magic, what is
What's it
metadata?
pasabot?
I'm gonna ask your tech.
What
your
is
tech
it?
expert.
Did you announce
Metadata.
anything about the metadata? What was yes. Was that the data that you were talking about?
So basically,
The song was, has already been
So
updated.
the application that we use is developed puts out a metadata, which is basically your title and the artist, and that's called a
okay.
metadata. It's the same, and then that gets saved to a text file, and then our website reads it. So that's called a meta file, and it also so meta file basically is your title, your artist, your genre, but that section to transport it somewhere is called metadata.
Okay. Binisaya ko na metadata, Justin. Metadata.
So when you type in Tops Media Center on YouTube, it reads the metadata, so it knows to show you our website. There you go. You're learning, huh?
Daghang salamat. Daghang salamat ya Kuya Magic. Kanang mita kanang dili din na kaning makakita ta sa atong gamit atong mga mita dili na mao day. Mita din na.
Oh, close your mga mita. That's what you mean.
Kind of new technology, but of course, if there's anything new, you have to have a word for it, right?
Yeah.
So, mangimbento kag word, imbento lang ang word, pero to mean something, right? Mangita na mong translation. So, kadaghanon na mga bago mga words.
Don't have a direct translation.
Wala pa translation. Kaya dili man nagikan nato, di ba? Mo na akong pasabot ba? Kanang butang nagikan nato, natay word na kita may imbento na kita may wala naman na sa ato ang tao na tawhan. Kanang butang nga wala nato diri. For example, kanang mita dita. Ato na binisay na kanina.
Mita dita.
Meta. What is that? Kanang metadata, kaning metadata na sa English, di ba? Metadata.
You guys are having too much fun with the voice changes.
Ang metadata in English,
metadata.
Ang metadata binisaya. Surya na may naghapon kay ako'y muragamay nga speech pa niya.
Yeah.
Kani nga ang word nga idea, kung sa may binisaya sa idea, right? Because I wanted to translate in Binisaya the quote nga there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come, or when it's time for an idea. There's nothing more. There's no more powerful than there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come, a person whose time has come. So, ganahan ko mong translation sa idea, right?
Yeah.
So, Binisaya na is wala na mas gamhanan pa sa usa ka idea na ang panahon niabot na. Pero kanang
Cool.
ang ideya niya nga word yan.
Oh, ideya.
Ideya ang binisaya na i-google gina nako sa ang ideya ang binisaya ana niya kay idea or
Idea.
I'm sorry nabalik
No.
ang binisaya sa ideya
Ideya.
pero naapagid mas lawom nga
For the word idea.
naapagid kanang ideya mura ra man kaning adaptation na sa word
Yeah.
dili mo siya actual
So what's the Bisaya word for idea? Like the deeper term.
nakalimot
Maybe
ako.
the people in our chats can let us
Yeah.
know.
Learned a lot from them the past days, the past week, so maybe it can
Sakto
help
juga.
us out.
So kung naamoy ideya unsay mas maayo nga word nga gamiton instead of idea, which is just adaptation. Kanang adaptation akong sabot ana niya is kanang word nga ang in English iya lang gibinisaya para lang mita dita ba, di ba?
You mean you just change up the pronunciation
para Bisaya pa binawon.
Maybe because as you mentioned, some of these words don't have a direct translation yet. Kaya they're new words or
Okay.
like universal used around kaya it's just that word itself.
Exactly.
So all you have to do is just change the pronunciation.
Sakto juga. So unsa man ay binisaya
So what's
sa
the
word
Bisaya word, guys, for idea?
because there's
Idea.
nothing more powerful than an
idea.
idea whose time.
Finally, local music has found a home. 105.1 TMC, the best of us.
Bring health into your home. Lacto Coffee Health Alert. Ayaw patapti og sipo na gubo ang imong pamilya. Dali kaayong makuha ang sipo na gubo, muulan man o muinit. Mao nga protektahi ang imong pamilya, ilabi na ang imong mga anak ni ining mga sakita. Lig-una ang ilang immune system, pinaagi sa pag-inom og Lacto Coffee Health Drink nga puno sa good bacteria nga makapaligon sa immune system sa lawas. Free your family from diseases. Paim na sila og Lacto Coffee Health Drink and bring health into your home. Bring health into your home.
Feeling stressed?
What is up, everybody on YouTube?
Hi guys! Visit Crown Regency Hotel and Towers, located on Esplanade Boulevard, Cebu City. We have over 389 newly renovated rooms, function rooms, wash-on
What does it do that? It stops, huh?
power gym, and
It's
better
not for that?
amenities for everyone to enjoy. For more information, visit our website at www.crownregency.com. Call us at 0947-283-4026. Crown Regency, Crown Regency.
If food is your aim, then Wang Shanlo Chinese
Huna.
is
What's
indeed
huna?
at the top of the game. New and
Thoughts?
improved authentic
Like, I mean,
Chinese
idea.
menus
Like, you're trying to- we're
spearheaded
trying
by
to
a
Bird, bird.
Chinese chef. We are open for
How you
dining
doing, Bird,
and
bird?
takeout, also accepting events.
Yo, everybody share the live out,
Second
huh?
floor, Cafe Glow, Tower 1,
He's in the
Regency
focus stage.
Hotel and Towers. For
Focus,
inquiries, contact
focus,
09 283-4026 or 032-418-8888.
Always keep it around here, man. Don't.
Samtang
And that's it. I can just exit. That's it.
Hinay ug buhanap ang atong mga
How do you
mata
wanna trigger it?
tungod sa
How do
kakulangan
you-
sa nutrisyon,
Is that-
pagpasagat o mohanap gyud tungod sa katigulangon. Kini
Yeah.
pwedeng tungod sa pagka-eksposar sa
When you wanna
hayop
trigger it, you
gitawag
hit that one.
blue light.
This
Ang
one is
blue light
orange
nagadinan
squash.
sa sugang
This one's
artificial
crickets.
o
And this is
natural
punch.
na
Yeah.
makadawat
So,
sa mata.
but if
Huwag
how do I know?
sa atong pananaw. Usa kini sa hinungdan.
There you go.
Sa mata.
Mine is
Sama
4.
sa
Ah, idiot. There it is.
o katarata. Ang kinahanglan, pag-atiman o proteksyon nga gikan sa kinaiyahan. Kana ang Octane Lutein Capsule. Ang Octane Lutein Capsule usa ka suplemento para sa mga mata. Ang lutein gikan sa tanom, luwas, tungod kay natural. Kini mo bubong o mapaayo sa kadaot nga dala sa blue light. Dugang niini, ang Octane adunay vitamina C, vitamina E ug zinc. Sa adlaw-adlaw nga pagtumar og Octane, tigid mo mga kapsayon.
No, or equalizer was on.
Lutein Capsule. Kita yun
Oh my
ang
gosh.
maayong panglawas. Mapalit ang Octane Lutein Capsule sa mga nagunang butika o drugstore nationwide.
Maing bungkag sa natong talang top of the morning to everyone.
Top of the morning.
Albert Deliman, ingon siya nga sour belt. Unsa man ang sour belt?
Yeah, so for those watching the chats, you can see how
Bunal na aslong?
Bunal na Kuya Magic snuck in some sour belt. It's a kind of licorice, right? It's licorice or some kind of candy
Dili
that's
na
covered in sugar, but it's super sour.
Dili na bunal nga
Bunal nga
aslong.
ang aslong.
Kaya he's good to
Aslong man
the-
sa abungan, abunan.
Ay,
Pait man, pait ang kanang bunan.
Hapdos actually.
Hapdos, yeah. So yeah, Kuya Magic came in with that.
Also in English ng hapdos ka. So anyway, ang
It birds.
atong gisgutan karon kay Binisaya, mga bisdak may mindong Justin diri.
Yeah, that's right.
Naninguhan mi nga mas bisdak pa mi sa tanang bisdak.
Yeah.
Di ba mo ginatong objective
Yeah.
to be truly and completely
Be Bisaya.
Be who we really are. So sana lang we become one of who we want to be and who we are. Anyway, ingon si Bert na kanang idea. Well, idea huna. Pero kanang bugong huna. Mura mo thoughts, di ba?
So I wouldn't really.
Huna
Yeah.
nimo pasabot ang I'm thinking about you, right? So really the idea, although an
But
argument.
what's Bisaya of like, oh, I have an idea, di ba you'd say nga, tay sa kay nakoy huna. It's not the right way. Like for example, I'm trying to tell you something. No, you can't.
I cannot say nakoy na hunaan, di ba?
Okay.
Nakoy na hunaan ba? Pero really good sa direct translation's idea.
I have an idea. I was thinking of something. That's what it means, basically, right?
Well, like, kind of idea, for example,
okay.
the idea of a democracy, the idea of an autocracy, right? That's an idea, right? So, dili man animo nahunaan ang
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
so if you guys have more words, throw them in the chats. We're trying to. Closest to that so far is huna, but Derek can translate mo good to your thoughts, but not really an idea.
Idea nga word in English bit.
Yeah.
Kaya nalibog mi kay isgot si Kuya Magic og metadata. Yung sa binisaya ng metadata.
Yeah.
Mita. So karong buntagan input ko mga sound effects ako atong bagong
Oh yeah?
computer.
Let's hear them. Sige, here the first one.
Sorry.
Oh gosh, that's perfect for you.
Ay joke nga kataonan, di ba?
Yeah.
Kanang gwapo man si Jiggy. Di ba?
That's perfect
Si
for
Kuya
you.
Magic kaning butan kini si Kuya Magic.
He's bullying you now.
Sabok ka.
Sabok ka.
How about this something? Crickets. Mo ni kadaghan sa atong ating paminaw nga.
Yeah.
Crickets ang maminaw na to sa akin, maka-feeling ako sa akin ba? Maway na minaw na to, di ba?
No, but naaman, thankfully. I have a message sa chat, some people ring us up. So,
mga crickets, maminaw na to.
Mga crickets ang diri sa tops, no?
Oh.
The other sound effects we got? Squeezing
more
as much as
juice
you're
out of your
Not gonna
day.
lie, I thought it was someone eating at first. I was like ASMR. And I call you.
Sukiyaki gyudon.
Idea!
She's like sliding up the sound effect on and then feeding out the mic. Wrong slider.
I know, right? You gotta get used to that, man. It's a matter of beauty getting used to it.
You'll get it. You got the juice squeezing in there, dude. It's good. So these arrows, if you get it to number 2, that's your voice changer, page 2. So number 4, page 4 is your sound effects, and then.
But this moves around, right? So this is the one that. So this is also thing, right?
Yeah.
This
is how we edit them. So if someone phones in and makes a funny noise, you can actually record them and say
use
that
it
as a
too.
sound effect.
Hey, cool.
What's a large
I
robot?
like this song. Sounds a lot like I forgot the name. Sounds like a familiar song, but I don't know what song.
How about Kanina? What was that thing that we were looking at? What was it? This one. This is like the home screen.
Yeah. So page 2 is your voice changer. Page 4 is your sound.
All right.
I need to figure out how to send the voice changer to different mics.
It sounds a lot like Chainsmokers or something. That kind of music.
Yeah, it does.
Or like like something. Yeah, Chainsmokers here.
He's overridden my settings in transfer mode.
That's what's going on right now. Sorry, but I didn't know that, man.
What up, YouTube?
The tubes!
The tubes.
Guys, how was your day? Guys, tell me, what is the capital of England? Come on, guys.
E!
Capital E.
What is the capital of England? I just got it. Oh my gosh, I'm so
You get it?
slow.
After you said it loud yourself, you're like, E.
That was good. Guys, let us know in the chat who knows the capital of England.
Well, like someone's gonna say E here, that's over.
Alright, guys, we need
Layo!
I spoke to DJ Young. He's gonna come, I think, next week.
DJ Young. Who's DJ Young?
The guy who sang that song. I don't know. DJ Young. Jiggy's playing around with some things. Let's go. Oh, I'm so happy that the website went down last night and
Last
it got
night, no?
deleted. Yeah, it was offline. Oh, did you see?
I didn't see.
So I was up.
It was
really
that
late
not
last
obvious.
night.
You're up every night. What are you talking about? Somebody said, Zanisha says London. Hi Z, this is what I've been saying is from
105.1 TMC, the best of us, top of the morning. That's what you're listening to. My name is Jiggy Juice. Right across me is
Justine
Wait,
Narvios.
give me the microphone. Is this your microphone?
All right, here. Hi, Justine Narvios.
How
Is
come you
that
can't
that's
hear
me?
me? What's going on?
I can't really hear myself. Hold on.
There you
Is that me? Alright. Is that okay?
go. Any button.
Yeah, I know. But
you know,
anyway, top of the morning, guys.
If you press Kuya Magic's button, everything works.
Which one? Which button?
His button, his nose.
His nose down.
Yeah.
Will it suddenly work?
Okay, what?
No, you're pressing the wrong.
Okay. Which one's the drum roll? Oh,
no, this one.
There you go.
Oh my God, guys, please.
If you press Kuya Magic's nose, everything works. or it becomes a totally complete disaster.
Guys, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're trying to figure out the sound effects here.
Lagi, sakto ka Joel. Mo lagi Joel. I'm in the chats right now. I'm in the chats with Joel Lim. According to Google.
According to Google,
Mo na Bisaya ng Google, di ba?
Yeah,
Google. Ideya is the Bisaya. I know, but napanay siya mas laong pa na translation, right?
Maybe that's just it. Maybe it's just
in that conversation, because I was
Jiggy's on the quest to find like the deep,
Yeah.
the deep meaning, the deep translation of all these words.
actually I had a thought gahapon ba nga sige
You had an idea.
nakoy honaan ba nakoy
Okay.
nahonaan dili idea nakoy nahonaan
Okay.
kaninga di ba iingon nila kanang the language of the street kanang Binisaya di ba murag
Yeah.
masa kay di ba everybody speaks like that right
Yeah.
kanang murag parumbado kanang murag kanang down to earth kina siya ba di ba
Yeah,
mo man yung mga descriptions sa mga tao kanang Bisaya kay di ba
Mm.
murag ingon sila ang iniga na niyo kanang Bisaya kay sanan murag he's a man of the people right
Yeah.
and all of that stuff, right? That's not a punchline. That wasn't a punchline, man. Yung punchline, wasn't a Binisaya. Wasn't a punchline. What's a punchline sa Binisaya? Wala. Drums lang. Anyway, so I was thinking, the deeper you go
Yeah.
into the Bisaya
Realm, the
realm
rabbit
of
hole.
the language of Binisaya,
Yeah.
kanang mga Binisaya nga mga words nga sakto gyud nga gigamit sa atong mga ninuno, atong mga forefathers,
Yeah.
nga sakto gyud organic Binisaya ba. The more intellectual
You
sounding
sound.
you become, di ba?
Yeah.
Instead of becoming a man of the people, na you speak the language of the streets, kaning mga words among good, wala nang gigamit good. So kung magbinisaya ka nga lawom kayo sa tanan, mura na hinung ka you become like this intellectual person.
Individual, as if like you know so much.
Speaking
Okay.
in deep Binisaya,
Yeah.
nga di accessible sa normal Bisaya
You
person.
sound very
right?
educated and
Exactly,
very.
right.
So opposite na yun,
Okay,
di ba?
okay.
Nakabantay ka?
Yeah. I know. So you're trying to change up the the way speaking Bisaya looks, like how people would often see it as like it's
Perceive it,
the
right?
it's the language of the streets.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now you're trying to say no.
No,
You
no.
actually sound more intellectual if you know the deeper
no,
words.
What I'm saying ba, kung kibaw ka mo Binisaya, kanang normal ordinary Binisaya,
Yeah.
that's being the man of the people, right? You're like a populist. You're like a
You speak the language of the masses.
of the masses, right?
What everyone
Pero
speaks.
kung mogamit nagi kag mga lawom mga Binisaya, dili na ka na siya masa, dili na siya.
Yeah.
You're no longer the man of the people because you're using
Yeah.
Binisaya that's deep. And not accessible to the
Yeah.
normal person, right?
Yeah.
So mura na kag ganing kuyawa na niyo, laom kay Binisaya.
Okay, we're gonna do that. So that's how we gotta learn the deepest of all Bisaya words.
Yes,
no?
exactly.
We'll look into that, guys.
What is that? Oh my
Is he using a filter?
Oh gee whiz. This is like the bean filter.
No, I don't think that's the Mr. Bean one.
Look at that. Show it to her, man. She has
Am I gonna be seen in it? Am I? Guys, you should.
Sumukta
Kuya Magic's
ni
like
Kuya
the
Magic.
craziest person in this room right now.
I-post na Kuya Magic.
He's always trying to bully us and make fun
Oh
of
my
us. I
God.
swear.
So atong gisgutan karon, maang buntag diha Pokot. Kani si Pokot, ako ning amigo nani sa New Zealand. Kani siya si Pokot na depressed ni siya maayo dito sa New Zealand. Actually, he's been hopping from one place to another. He came from Cebu niadto siya Singapore, pagkaman sa Singapore niadto siya og New Zealand. Kuha ni siya mura ni siya medyo na depressed na maybe
he got the OFW blues
Yeah.
because of how lonely it is. Yeah. And I think I got some inputs from friends who are not necessarily OFWs but living independently, like as Kuya Magic said.
Oh,
So I want to shout out to them. Zenaisha Histler. Hi Z.
Okay.
So
unsa may imong mga inputs?
she's currently in San Diego. And she used to live in another city in California, but she's been, hustling, doing things on her own. I'm very proud of her. She's like she's like an officer at this facility, for the more juveniles. So she's very tough. If you know that kind of industry, there aren't a lot of women there. Being a young woman, like working in that kind of facility, living alone. No, it's difficult, Jude. But like she would always tell me, you gotta keep yourself busy. So mao na siya, she says.
Sekreto.
Yes. So over the weekend, mo ato siya mga cafe, mo read siya mga books, mo ato siya gym, or she goes to mga kana sa US, they have a lot of mga, for example, diri mga open mics, dito they have mga salsa night, mga ana, sumuapil siya mga ana to keep yourself busy. And like what she would always tell me, if you don't do anything, ikaw ra may maluoy. Ikaw ra gyud mamingaw sa balay. So you gotta go out, you gotta meet people, you gotta do something good for yourself. So yeah.
Kaya uban man good, some people just sulk, right?
I mean, that's normal.
They lock themselves in the room and just sulk.
Yeah.
Mo na may tabo niya. Like I was saying earlier, baka nang matter in motion is more likely to go somewhere, right? So kung mulihok lang ka, kung magawas lang ka sa bahay, ang imong utok dili na bitaw mo swallow itself. Kaya kana magong ikaw rang usa, mura magog ang imong pangunahon na inward lang bitaw. Imo lang you're just entertaining the thoughts that are just circling your head, right?
Oh my God, that's so true.
Magtujuk-tujuk na imong
Tujuk-tujuk.
mura nagkalayong magtujuk-tujuk na makalatkat sa balumbong.
So that's why there's this thing that they say, I don't know if you've heard the expression touch some grass, Jiggy.
Touch some grass.
Yeah, do you know what that means?
Not smoke some grass, but touch some grass. Okay.
Do you know what that means? Like when they say,
okay,
man, you gotta go out and touch some grass. Do you know what that means? Like what people say nowadays?
I guess go to nature. Is that what it means?
Okay, perfect. It also means go to nature, but it's like a figure of speech. It's just like a metaphor for trying to be realistic and expose yourself outside. So like for example, you're starting to be delusional. You're starting to believe in all your inward thoughts. So someone would say, touch some grass. That means to go out and like reflect.
Nature therapy,
Yeah,
right?
nature therapy, but not necessarily touch grass literally. But it also means to like reflect and be realistic ba?
Be realistic.
Yeah, so that's what it means to
Be
touch
realistic.
Yeah.
I hate that.
What? Why?
Being realistic.
Why? What's wrong with reality? What's wrong with that?
Somebody once said that if you're
it's
realistic,
negative?
if you're realistic, you suffer from a lack of imagination.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So I guess
maybe just have a balance between two.
Yeah, reality and some truth to it.
I know.
Right? Anyway, so ato ang mga kaigsunan diha nga medyo lonely lang gamay kay na sila sa ilahang mga balay karon na minaw og radio. Mo magining purpose sa radio. Actually, the original,
to keep you company.
Yeah, one of the original intentions of radio is to keep us company, right? And you always listen to radio, kaning personally. Radio is personal. That's why I always tell when I train kana mga bag-o mga radio personalities nga kung mag-abli ka sa imong microphone, ang imong hanaw-naon na kay kasturya usara ka tao. So ang advice na sa akong mga trainers before, butang naong sa imong boyfriend, imong girlfriend, imong pet, whatever.
By the
atubangan nimo kay kung mag-abli ka sa imong mga baba, ang imong kasturya usara man gud. Kay wala man goy mag-alirong sa lamisa mamina o radio, di ba? You don't talk to or listen to the radio alone. Usually I'm mag-headphones sa mga tao, di ba?
Yeah.
So importante gyud imong hanaw-naon usar ka tao imong kasturya nga personal nga Justin, ikaw ra akong kasturya.
Yeah. Or Kuya Magic right beside you.
Mo nang importante na nga natay kasturya sa atubangan nato.
Yeah. So it does feel
tandem
very
nga akong ikasturya ikaw.
Yeah.
So ang maminaw sad mura sad they also think nga we also sound like sila atong istoryaan personally. Sakto ba?
Yeah, I
Sakto ba?
agree. You know,
Does
I
it make
totally
sense?
agree with that. Yeah. And hopefully our listeners feel that way as well. Na they realize this is a very personal conversation, no?
Yep.
And when they do send in their comments or their ideas, it goes through. It's not like they're not, it goes nowhere.
We hear you.
We hear you, and at the
Sus, my
same time,
goodness.
we're happy that you hear us.
Yeah, man.
People from all around the world are actually tuning in.
Yeah.
I also got a message here from QC Torres. He's listening, watching from YouTube from Japan Seas. OFW seafarers listening to us. They've been OFW seafarers for 12 years.
Wow.
Shout out to Chef QC, JRN Vangel. Hi. Konnichiwa.
Asa ni sila napita?
Japan Seas. So
Wow.
they're seafarers. They've been seafarers for around 12 years now, and they're listening to us on YouTube.
Wow.
Thank you so much for tuning in. They're like,
lahi sa nga
I'm
challenge
so happy.
Lahi sa nang challenge ka na naka sa dagat sa?
Kana po, lahi po na nga pagka OFW, not being in sea,
Yeah.
at sea for
Yeah.
several months. Makalipong yun daw, and the seas are a scary place, especially at night when the only light source
Yeah.
is the moon.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine that, Jiggy? Just looking out at the wide ocean, it's all black, pitch black, and you don't know how deep it is. And then, my thalassophobia is like kicking in right now just thinking about it. No, It's
Nakoy daghang mga amigo
scary.
nga mangayo sila og kaning USB nga tukar sa music sa Cebu kay kaning usahay magod kung lawom na kay sila sa they're really like deep in the Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean or whatever. Kaning wala na signal ba? Kay usually some of them still actually can communicate through
What, like radio?
the internet.
Okay.
Kaya na may wifi nga kaning di ba kaning that wifi nga maabot sa loud.
Yeah.
Pero kanang lawom na jud kay sila tanan sa layo na jud kay sila sa baybayon. Wala signal. So magpadaan na sila nako og mga kanta. Kung maabot na sila din makadunggo na sa sugbo mga na sila USB nga. Jig gaya ko kaning kanta.
The new songs,
kanang
the
mga
new
bagong
songs.
kanta di abi kay mamina ko kay lonely kay ko tanan sa kuan sa kay tag unom kabuan gud na usahay gud nasa sa loud nga gino na gud na gud. Hono na naka sa barko unom kabuan. I mean lingaw siguro na usa ka adlaw, duha ka adlaw, usa ka semana pero
but imagine months.
unom kabuan nabuang ka diha na unsa.
That's true.
So Pukot, kani si Pukot, I want him to
Pukot's in Australia, right?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
I want
my
you to
bad.
tell us your story. How were you able to surmount? How were you able to overcome? Yun sa man mo pag
surpass.
wala ka na buang sa imong pagka-lonely. Ha? Unsa may binisaya sa lonely ito?
Mingaw?
Mingaw, imong pagka-mingaw.
Yes, I got it right.
Unsa may imuhang
Yun sa nimo pagkombate sa imong pagkamingaw.
kana lami na pagka-binisaya da. So unsa man? Sorte economy bay. Mayong buntag diha
What
nimo.
did you do?
Pukot.
I want to ask the same question as well to all the other listeners here. No, sila Chef.
Go ahead.
Let's see. Chef Vangel, JR, Kuya QC, all the way from Japan Seas. How did you combat that, Kuya QC? You've been an OFW seafarer for 12 years. No, and you only come back and forth to the Philippines every once in a while. How do you do that? Especially only being able to see your family through a screen, like what Kuya Magic says. No, technology helps a lot. Labi na sa una, can you imagine like those times when you had to when they send out people, especially sa war, and then you only had to write each other letters?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Mga
their loved
kwan,
ones must have been crazy good. Like
I remember somebody once told me, I don't know if I forgot who exactly, but nangutana ko how did you
do that?
How did she meet her husband? And somebody told, this is a recent conversation, I forgot with whom. Yung siya kana penpal man na sila.
oh, okay.
Penpal.
I don't
So-
know. People still do that now. Like there's
Yeah.
social media. So I guess very rare. But
Yeah.
before pen pals were a thing, right?
Yeah, and kay numdum sa ko itong una nga I don't know what if it was in high school or elementary nga. Mura kag musuwat ka og mga piniriso.
Oh yeah. I know that. They still have that now.
Were you asked to do that ba? Do you have
I didn't experience that, but I've seen that on TikTok now, where you have like prison pen pals.
Yeah.
So you can send them voice recordings or videos now. It's
Yeah.
not limited to writing.
so
na.
dili na kaning kuan ra kaning suwat ra sa papel?
No, you can actually see their face now, and then they send you back a video. You send them videos. And
Yeah, pag human
make
at una
friends.
kaning patong sa tawag ani telegrama pa, di ba?
What's a
A
telegram?
telegram is like you go to a place, right? And then you type up a message. Let's just say nanginahanglan kog usa ka libo og usa ka panamilit nya human imo nang isuwat nya
Okay.
mobayad ka na per line I think or per letter or per word.
Okay.
Hatag na nimo sa RCPI or sa telegrama nga murag office kiosk na siya.
Okay.
Ani imong hatag niya ipadanan niya dito maabot na ika
The actual letter they padala it, or the message
the
lang?
actual message ilang i-type dito mura mag telegraph murag na typewriter dito sa other side
Okay.
ba so masend na sa
So
other
other
side
kiosk.
at their kiosk wherever you're
send it to?
you're sending the letter na something like that murag Morse code Yeah, and then they put it in an envelope, right? And then they send it to the address where you want the message to be. So ikadawat ni mama, murag a day after man, ang hinanglan
day
ko
after,
usa ka
okay.
libog, usa ka panamilit. So when she reads it, mo respond po siya, adto po siya sa
Sa
kuwan,
kiosk nearest to her and then send out. So where would these kiosks be?
They'd be
where would they be?
They'd
In the
be
mall?
like everywhere, and like in the mall. There was no mall back
When
then.
was this?
This was like a long time ago, man. This was like I was a kid.
Really?
I don't remember actually sending one.
Is that the same thing? I don't know. My parents said they had this thing called the beeper.
Kana beeper, lain pa ng beeper. Pager,
A
tawag na,
pager. Yeah. How does that work?
A pager is like a
how does that
small
work?
contraption nga imong i-attach imong bakos niya. Pag gamay kasi sa marago.
Cool, kaida. They said you used to be so cool that if you have one of those.
One-fourth a cell phone siguro.
Okay.
Kadaghanan na naimbento gina siya sa mga first nang ibaw ano kon mo gamit na ng mga doktor. Kay kung na emergency, they get a beep, right? For example, na emergency nga kinahanglan ka you have to be in the hospital at a certain
Right
time.
now,
So mo beep tit niya. Mura siya ang message na tanaw nimo nasa gamay diri nga screen diri. Tanaw nimo basahon din mga
So what is it?
need to be.
Why is it so small man ang screen? Like what kind of message can you place in there?
No, gamay lang.
Igo ra gyud nga.
Gamay
That's
lang.
why.
So matawag ka
Ano ra?
to transmit a message, matawag ka og regular telephone.
Okay.
Tawag ka certain number, right? Let's just say 555-555. Hello, this is Pocket Bell. I have a message for Doctora or Attorney Narvios.
Okay.
Attorney Narvios, please be here now. Your client is here waiting for you. And he's about to go to jail, and then manasa.
Okay,
and
the call is
message.
finished.
So katong nga message i-transmit na ito sa imuhang pager
Okay.
nimo. So mo beep imong telepono tit nya mo basa
Okay.
ka.
Can I reply through the pager?
Dili ka maka-reply.
Oh, so it's just to receive.
Kung tagaan nimo og numero, pwede ka makatawag sa numero. Wa pa may cellphone na tunguna. Remember that, right?
Okay, so I have to go to telephone to call the number
call
that's
the number
on my pager.
Or kung ingon ko attorney Narvios, call this number right now.
So I call the number. I look for a phone to call that number.
Ang itak landline.
Okay, so it's just for short messages and instant ka number ko hit.
Yeah. So mo na siya
Okay.
the way you message before. So
Wow.
what we're trying to say here ba to message somebody someone before lisod kaayo.
Hassle. It's such a hassle. Oh my goodness.
So mahal pag yun.
Yeah.
Not to mention kanang long distance, di ba? Kanang naabot na ang cellphone, even the landline, pwede maka long distance.
Yeah.
Sus dako ang phone
Yeah.
bill, dagko ang mga phone bill, di ba?
So now technology has made it more easier than us. The ironic thing, Jiggy, is that we do take it for granted. We have all this opportunity and access to message people. Di pagid mo message.
Pero that's correct, sa sakto mo
No,
na siya.
like
Sakto
we
mo na siya.
have
Pero-
no excuse now. I would hate to have to go back to the pager era.
But I'd like to make a input on that conversation mga one. Kay kana manggong wa man gyud makalupig gud sa presence gud.
Oh, okay.
Kanang naagyud ka sa atubangan sa tao
Yeah.
ba? Kay lahi man
Nothing
gyud na
could
siya.
ever replace
Kaya
that.
pwede ka text kaniya, pwede ka mingon nga
Call,
gi-
FaceTime.
kani nga, gimingaw ko nimo or I love you or whatever mga messages nimo diya
Sentiments.
pero wala man ka diya.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Spending time,
pwede ra
quality time is
sayon ra man
different.
kayo pag-type og mensahe, di ba nga, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Mag-text, sayon na kayo pagkuan nga muna imong gibati pero dili gini mo ma-feel ang actual feeling ba, so there nothing can ever replace
Ever beat quality time.
yeah, like a
Okay.
handshake or a
Yeah.
hug, right? So lisod yun na siya nga
Or the time
nga-
spent together. So so maybe just don't take all of those for granted. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad we do have technology now
Yeah.
that I would hate. Okay, not really hate. It would be such a hassle if I had an emergency. I'd have to go to a freaking telegram station or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that, or do a pager. I'm glad now.
or smoke message
Oh.
mag-smoke message ka ba?
No. I'll put a note on the talapati, like
Smoke
the.
signals.
That's enough.
Pati.
Pati.
Kanang dove.
Kanang dove. I'm gonna put a note,
Dove.
tie a note to the
Yeah,
dove's
yeah.
foot, and then
And hope it
fly,
arrives.
and hope it arrives.
Or
on-
put it in a
Oh my
in
goodness.
in a bottle, right? And put it
In the sea.
in the sea, right? Hopefully somebody
Yeah.
receives it.
No,
right?
but I kind of like I noticed before because the mode of communication was very different. Communication kay lahi gid na siya. No, I had this carpool mate before nga. She was a really really old teacher. Nya magsabot na siya siyang banda nga. We'll meet at, for example, Country Mall at 5 p.m.
Kana,
And
oh.
na may cellphones ron, pero di sila mo gamit og phone for some reason. Like they have phones but they don't use it to text each other, or I don't know, basin pirmi lang no bat yung phone. Nya magsinabot lang sila to meet. And when they do meet, usahay wala nang bana dito because it was too late or we arrived late. So when she arrived, wala. So I'm thinking, imagine the old times if
Wala,
you
good.
you think
Yeah.
nga you get stood up ba,
Yeah.
like you go on a date, for example, then something happened.
Naligsan di ay.
Wala.
Diba? For
And you
example,
would
si
never
Mako,
know.
diba? Diba?
You would never know. Good. Like you'll just think you got stood up, pero
Ang buhato na ko na atong una na
Yeah, what
for
do you do?
example, naka-date sa.
Okay.
Pag man wala dito nga usa naka oras. Basig
Patay.
na late lang.
Yeah, basig na late. How do you tell?
Kung dahon ka oras, mo tawag na kasi lang balay, mangita na kag landline.
Okay.
Right? Kaya wala pa may cellphone na itong una. Mangita kag landline nga. Hello, kaning...
From the phone book, the numbers are just in the phone book,
you
right?
have to,
Or
I mean,
before you already gather that information.
Kaya ka sa numero sa imong date sa doon, siya arosad.
So you call their house, okay?
Although it is a big deal nga na kay number nila kay usually.
That's why, like
it's a big deal.
if for example, if you met for the first time, you're not gonna get their house number man.
Wala na imong
Wala na.
imong mangita ka sa phone book ni imong tawagon ang parehong apelyido sa imong date. Tawagon, hello, na si Kuan diha.
Nasi ana, lahi maning balay. Wa mi ana diri. So you call the house and you let them know. And you get to speak to the family instead, no? Wow, I love that.
Nakalakaw na si Jane diha. Kaning dugay naman to nilakaw dong.
Hala.
Unsa ka siya sa di manggod nami sabot diri sa kaning Mango Avenue pag human wala pa siya diri. Madam, sige lang. Salamat ha. So ana, that's the kind of conversation.
And then you get to talk to the family instead.
Yeah, so kuya, cool ba kayo? Ano makatubag ang papa? Kinsa mo ni?
I like it. No, I like it. It's very proper. You can't mess around then.
I know. Murag kaning kuyawan ka ba kay ang papa mo
what's
tubag.
the voice of the papa?
Manawag ka. Hello, na si Jane diha. Moingon ning papa. Kinsa man ni?
The sound effects aren't working.
Okay, what's it not working? Kuya Magic.
Is that how you act if somebody calls to your house to look for Summer, your daughter? If someone's like, "Hello, nasi Summer," is that how you act?
Unsa man ko?
Like, do you do that? What do you say?
Kinsa man ni? Ano man ako? Tawag mo?
The sound effects aren't working.
So dili man ko stricto paminawon kanang atong una English na kay paminawon so mahadlok sila. Ingon sila kinsa man na
Yes, balay.
So na nas balay niyo diha. Anyway. So mo na siya. Ang atong giistoryaan karon is OFW Blues. Pwede
magdramaturgo man di ay ni si Jiggy.
Anong dramaturgo?
Do you know what that means? It's like radio dramas bitaw. Like and they make different voices.
Oh my goodness.
I like those because they're very emotional.
Oh, anak!
I asked Kuya QC, gunsa na nimo og kombate imong pagkamingaw. How are you able to deal with that, especially that your family is in Leyte and then you're all the way over to Japan and you only be able to see them through a screen for for most of the time. So he said, since the chefs, Jiggy, he said, actually we're cooking right now, but I want to answer your question.
Go ahead.
When you have goals in life, especially for the family back home, it helps you somehow stay focused, right? It helps you understand and remember why you're there in the first place, why you gotta endure that. And then you end up loving your work and remembering that the talent God or our Creator gave us is what keeps them going, right? So it makes sense, right? How you're able to combat loneliness and remember why you're doing all that in the first place is number one, to remember your goals and your family waiting for you back home. And number two, to remember that those God-given talents were given to you for a reason. You're not a seafarer for nothing. You have skills that are being put to use. You're hired in that specific field of work because you're capable of that. So it's a compliment in a way. I love that. Thank you, Kuya QC, for your inputs. That's so good. Hopefully the other OFWs can help us, get some inputs.
You know what? One of my conversations, one of my thoughts, good really, because my two brothers are working overseas, right?
Oh.
My two brothers are
Where
in the United States, right? My next in line of 5 years gap na ni Steven sir na nasa Las Vegas, right? Ang among kamanguran si Roel nasa sa California, right? And I really feel sad ba na ako may kamagwangan, right? I think I told you this already. Not many friends. I really feel sad nga because I'm the oldest, I'm the eldest, that I did not build a country, a city that is enough for them, right? I feel so sad. I feel saddened by it because I really think unless you really want to get the hell out of here for whatever reason, right? Well, maybe like some really great reason, but there's nothing like being at home, right?
Yeah. It is for me. It is tragic. Sincerely feel that it's tragic to be forced. Okay, to be forced to work
to have no other
outside
option.
Your home, because home is where you were born.
Home is where the heart
where
is.
family is. Home is where your house is. That is your comfort zone, right? That is where all the love in the world supposedly is, right? Of course, some people may not have that.
Yeah, it might not be the same case for everyone.
Na ay different reason nga nung mularga sila, right? Pero kung nahimo pa lang ang ako mga kaigsuunan, my literal brothers, kaning
Why not here?
Why not here?
stay
Nganong
here?
trabaho ilang iyang gitrabaho dito nga akong usa ka manghod kay nurse, ang usa ka manghod ako kay accountant.
Yeah.
So these are jobs that are needed here,
Yeah.
right? Na may daghang trabaho nga accounting ug nursing diri pero
Here.
dili man good enough nila kay
So that's the sad part, the reality of that.
Ang accountant diri, ang nurse diri dili gyud pareha og makita kung
Yeah.
kung mula gawas ka sa naso,
Yeah,
di ba? Gawas ka
that's
sa
true.
Pilipinas, dili gyud enough. So which begs another question, unsa man din ang enough di ay? Asa man day kutob ang enough nimo? Ang idea ani ron is because di ba there is such a thing as
That's true.
the American dream. Kunuhay,
Yeah,
di ba?
yeah, yeah.
Maayo man kay na baligya sa Hollywood, di ba? Kay you have to understand nga one of the
Media.
biggest exports of the United States. One of the reasons why the United States is such a successful nation is because of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because kung mutan-aw ka sa ilahang mga salida, maingganyo mo ka mo palit sa ilang mga butang.
Yeah, or to adapt
Diba?
their culture as well.
Exactly.
No?
So,
it's like the biggest.
makakita kag cellphone diha asam nagikan. Ang idea nga cellphone nga cool na cellphone gikan man sa Hollywood or whatever kanang auto. For
No,
example, diba?
all sorts of trends,
Yeah,
outfits,
yeah.
you know,
So
the kind of lifestyle that you ought to live.
Exactly.
They're all influenced by media,
So
and the
kanang-
biggest media there is, you know, the films or the content created by Hollywood.
Nahalin pud ta sa idea ang atis atong mga
No, okay.
atong mga kaigsuonan pud atong mga pinalangga nahalin pud sila murag nahalin na convince pud sila sa idea of the American dream. Big house, you know, fleet of cars, you know, like whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So murag ang ilahang idea of what enough is different from
Yeah.
from other people, right?
But you know, I wouldn't necessarily. It's just a thing. I wouldn't necessarily see it as like a negative or positive thing. People have different standards, and I would say that there's
Exactly,
nothing. Yeah, some
exactly,
people.
exactly.
What's enough for them also, Jiggy. There's a lot of people that would refuse to move out of the country, and what's enough for them is just a roof over their heads, and
Yeah.
it could also be misconstrued as that person is being kanang murag mubo ra og dreams or being mediocre. But it really depends.
Mm-hmm.
I look in my family, for example. Most of my family members are really in the States na.
Yeah.
Kami ra gyud nabilin diri.
The last patriots,
we're
right?
we're like the last ones here. My grandparents, their siblings, my on both sides, mom
Mm-hmm.
and dad said they're all sa States na kami ra gyud na adiri. And my grandfather for the longest time wanted to stay here lang in the Philippines, even if his siblings, his family, they're all sa States. And
Okay.
sige na mo siya i-encourage. But what if we all moved there, especially pag pandemic? What if we all just, you know, stayed there? But he was very, very much against it because he felt like this was his home, and he would always say na lahi ra gyud daw ang Philippines, and you would be a different kind of citizen. Like if you were in a different country that you're not from, murag dili ka ano daw. It's not like you're a priority there, and it's very
Mura kang
difficult to.
second class citizen.
That's exactly what he said, and he would mention how it's a very big adjustment. And you know, old people, they don't want to adjust now. They're comfortable, and so if we had that mentality also, nga, what is enough? Kanang it's not. Some people just have this different kanang idea of what is enough for them. Like they want a fleet of cars.
But you have to understand.
It depends. Or gets a
No,
perspective.
but it's not an original perspective. They got that somewhere.
Yeah.
What your dreams are, what your aspirations are, you got that from somewhere. So you have to understand where it comes from.
Where it comes from.
Lain-lain ta og mga pangunahuna, lain-lain ta og mga idea unsa nang damgo, unsa nang nindot, unsa nang bati. Pero nagikan somewhere.
It came somewhere.
It came from somewhere. So
yeah.
maybe you were reading about it, or you saw
Or you saw it, or
it on
you know other
television.
people who've achieved that
Yeah.
kind of thing
so dili
too.
dili na ingon nga kani nga sincero na nga ilahag yun nga organic nga panginhanglan. Dili na it came from somewhere. So you're influenced by something you saw as a kid, or maybe imong mga peers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Kanang ako raman sad sa akong mga barkada sad.
Yeah.
Nam ko I have
A group of friends?
nga lima mi kabok, right? Ako ra say naa sa Pilipinas. All of my four
Are there
friends are in the States. All of them are nurses. And si Carrie Rueda sa lang ako ang my only
shout out to your friends.
compatriot nga nabilin dire sa Cebu.
Yeah.
So actually uno mi kabok. So duha ra mi kabok diri ay. So diri ra mi sa Pilipinas kay I don't know. Like, of course, I have responsibilities also because I'm the eldest and I have to take care of the parents and all of that stuff, right? But at the same time, you know, I love it here.
You're contented
Yeah,
here.
I'm
That's the
contented
thing
here,
because what's enough for you is here, man.
Yeah.
So in your perspective, everything that you need, and you don't feel the need to move abroad to do something, which is also a blessing to most people. It's such a huge blessing to not have to leave home and to stay in your comfort zone and to make a huge living out of that and to breed a family and
breed a family.
Yeah, breed a family here in your hometown. That's a huge blessing.
Can you say that again?
To breed a family. I don't see it as a joke, but no, I don't know if that's the right term. No, but mura mag animals no, gibreed nimo ang mga animals paita.
What's in English ng breed be?
Breed, like to breed a family, no? To
Mga kaigalaan, unsa may in English
Isa
anong breed.
Paita mo ra mga animals there.
I-breed, i-crossbreed.
Yeah.
Binisaya.
Oh, here, somebody here. Zyrek Leona in the chat said, nakasaka sad mga teachers ning abroad, honestly.
Sus, my
it's
goodness.
sad. That's so true.
That's
in the
so
education sector, we have so many teachers who are given bigger opportunities
Sus,
in the
diba
States. You know, they're so lucky. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Okay.
gonna say ba. Not
Okay.
the teachers.
Okay.
The students in the States are very lucky. Nga mga
Absolutely.
Pinoy ilang mga teachers. Because
Sus.
I feel like Filipino teachers, they don't play. Filipino teachers like teach values and stuff. And I feel like these American kids can't do, I don't know if it's just a stereotype, but I feel like they're like, no. You know, they're gonna be all bratty. I don't want to answer the test. And then the Filipino
Unsa bratty kayo? Unsa man?
bratty, they'll be like, no, I don't want I don't want to answer the test. I don't want to do this, right? I feel like that's my misconception of how Western kids act, and I feel like Filipino teachers, they don't take crap. If it wasn't such a taboo to hit the kids or like to scream at them, then they probably would in the most respectable way.
Sagita ni mo ang bata?
Dili, I think they would do the usual sit ba. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Ay, pag binuwang diha.
Kana. That's exactly what I mean.
Nagunsa man ko diha.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Filipino teachers are into that. But yes, nurses.
Speaking of teachers ba? Ato kibaw ko this is like a known fact nga kadaghanan sa mga eskwelahan, especially Ateneo de Cebu. Daghan kayo mga maestra rito, mga maestro nga namalhi na sa gawas, right?
Yeah.
Nakadunggo ang istorya because when my two kids eventually graduated from Ateneo de Cebu. Kaning nakadungog silang ni balhin na si Kuan.
The teachers moved abroad.
They moved abroad. Ikaw murag kay gamay rin ko na kayo sweldo gyud ang maestra diri sa Pilipinas. Tinuod ba na gamay ang sweldo na maestra man jud ka, Justine?
Yeah.
Without revealing pila ka milyon ang imuhang na-earn sa Ateneo kaning gamay ba gyud sweldo. Unya nang-ingon pud sila nga ang sweldo kuno sa public teacher kuno karon
is higher.
Dako na kuno. Tinuod ba ka na? So maybe you can enlighten me.
To be honest,
lamdagi ko palihog.
To be honest, I can't give much opinions for cases like that only on my own experiences because I have not looked into how much good they earn abroad.
And when
it comes to sa mga public schools, I've also heard that I don't know exactly how much, pero I've also heard from other public school teachers that still it's a bit difficult because most of the time, especially sa rural areas, they're not given any funds for simple school materials for the students. Kani mga public school teachers, I look up to them also. I have a lot of family members that are, especially in Burawin, Leyte.
Oh, okay.
So shout out to my family in Burawin, Leyte.
Mga teachers po sila?
Yeah, they are teachers. And you know what? They're very passionate about it to the point that everything that you buy for the students, it comes from your own pockets.
Oh.
The pencils, the papers, the coloring materials. Oftentimes, schools can't provide for that. And the students themselves also don't have enough funds for that. So it's the teachers who spend their own sahod for that. And I really... I feel like it's a very selfless thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to comparing mga how much we earn, I don't really have a basis good like an exact figure. But
would you say that it's enough for you to make a living?
That really depends. Now, here's the thing, Jiggy. It depends on what is enough for you.
Exactly.
What is enough? If enough for you to rent a place, to stay in a house, to have a roof over your head, to eat, maybe it's enough. But it depends also good. Like, what's enough?
The kind of house, ganahan ba ka, parang payag-payag lang diha, di ba?
I mean, one thing about Ateneo that I like, though, which is a big help now to my co-teachers. If you have a kid, your kid gets like a discount or free tuition.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't have one yet, but for my co-teachers that do have kids, it's a huge help.
So you think by some stretch of the imagination, ang imuhang sweldo sa pagkamaista diri sa syudad sa Sugbo, even in a private school, is enough.
Okay.
If you just
in my own
use your imagination.
Okay.
Ba?
I think I'm just gonna base it na lang on what I hear from other co-teachers.
Okay.
What I hear is that at the end of the month, sometimes short down. No, it's not that they struggle so much, but you can avoid also kanang being short on cash at the end of the month for certain things, for a lot of things, and it helps so much. The school is in our case, sa Ateneo, the school is super considerate of the teachers. They have like this beautiful dorm by the school, wherein a part of their sahod, they just pay a very small amount. It's way cheaper than renting outside of the dorm.
Okay.
So it helps, that they have that. They don't have to worry about public transportation. It's just beside the school. So a lot of their main expenses, I say, are taken care of. But at the end of the month, ma-short gyapon.
Ma-short gyapon sila. So kulang lagi lang.
Kulang. I mean, I don't want to make it sound also like it's such an injustice that it's super difficult.
Yeah.
That's just the system, and I'm even glad na
what
pa may mga bonus and stuff like that.
But that's a private enterprise, right? So kanang when you say it's just in the system, kana siya if it's a public school, right? Kay mga balaod magyunang naghatag og maybe like a kind of limit sa imong sweldo, minimum or maximum, di ba?
Yeah.
Balaod man na siya. So you can say that it's just in the system. But if it's a private school,
it really depends on the school siguro.
If it's a private school, then they can make their own salary caps, right? And all of that stuff, right?
Dito sa Ateneo, when I was a teacher, I was very happy kay they actually really spoil us a lot.
Okay.
Not only the school, the students also are very appreciative. We have something called IHEAD or Ignatian Heroes Appreciation Day or Week, which is happening right now. Happy IHEAD to all the teachers and all the teachers all over the world. It was Teachers Day a couple weeks ago. And
what did you call it again?
IHEAD, which means Ignatian Heroes Appreciation Day or Week.
Okay.
So during IHEAD, we get bonuses. The school is very generous with that. Every teacher and staff gets a bonus, 13th month pay and all that. The students themselves are very appreciative also. It's a day wherein they say their sentiments and how they appreciate the way that we teach and stuff like that. So if you're only gonna think about the money, that's a problem. If you're only into a job for the money, like you're gonna teach in Ateneo just to earn the money, you might end up being disappointed. But if you consider everything else, including the pride of being able to teach and impart something to the kids, plus the appreciation that you get, plus all the other extra things that they give you and all the benefits, then for me it's great. So again, it really boils down to what's enough for you for you.
It's depending na siya.
Okay, but if people would ask me, should I get into teaching for money? I'm like, no. If you're just gonna get into teaching to earn, you're gonna be disappointed. It's not much.
So mo na naitabuan na nga atoang mga banggiitan nga manunudlo mularga na hinoon instead of staying here and letting our kids experience the best of them, the best of us.
Yeah.
Manglarga na hinoon, dito lang mo tudlo inon sa Amerika na hinon, unsa pagkunsaan niya pagkuman ato mga bata hinon diri magantos na hinon sila kay ang ilang mga maestro
best teachers na dito.
Mga bulayog.
What's bulayog?
I'm just kidding. Some of them aren't that good, but most of them are great teachers. Bulayog is, I don't know in English anong bulayog.
I'll find out what it means.
Not so good.
Basta not so good.
Gwapo sa ni reverse translation, mga kaigalaan, tabangi,
okay, kana, that's good.
Sa top of the morning, unsa may in English sa bulayog. So, mga bulayog. So, kaninga...
Yeah.
So,
you're just like my dad. My dad would also say that sometimes.
Diba?
Yeah.
Loy kayo, diba?
My dad would also say, it's sad how you work, that's the reality, I think, of being a parent, how you work all your life for your kid, but there comes a time wherein sometimes it's not that you take it against them and that they take it against your hard work, that it's not enough for them to stay in the Philippines. What have I been working for, Mandi? If after all in the end you just want to leave, right? That's why some parents feel that way. Do you feel that way, Jiggy?
Nga unsa man nga?
Nga murag, sometimes when your kids want to leave and pursue something abroad, which is great. It's a great opportunity now that's open to a lot of people.
Okay.
Do you ever feel that way sometimes? Nga
Oh
murag,
my God.
What have I been working for if you guys want to leave?
I am still selling to them the idea of living
here
in the Philippines, right? Isn't that sad? I mean, like, you have to sell to your kids the idea of staying put, right?
But you know what? It's not your fault. It's not their fault either. That's the thing.
Wait. It's not their fault. That's just human nature because kana magong bata ka good. It's really in your nature to get out of your cocoon, right? Which is home, right? You want to experience mga titog, mga tita lagi, mga lulog-lula nga kanang dagko na kay mga balay, gwapo na kay mga auto, ano bitaw niya makakita sila ni Taylor Swift.
Concerts.
Nasa picture ni Harry Styles na ba sumasuya sila nga it's not only a very mura og nakay puruhan gyud nga mo succeed dito makakita puga sa imong mga stars and all of that stuff. So nahalin gyud sila sa idea of America because of media. Dako kay mo nang grabe kini kagamhanan ang media. Kay kana mo kung media mo it shapes the hopes and dreams of people.
Yeah. It encourages them what is enough? What's the kind of lifestyle you should have?
Kanang Amerika grabe man kay na sila nagpada og
maximalist
media nila diri sa Pilipinas kay sus my goodness ato mga TV shows. Unsa man kuno TV show ng imong gisunod-sunod ko na be karong mga panahon na I bet you it's not a local show, right?
K-drama's food,
Diba? Maybe K-drama but gamay ra kay mga local shows. So mo nang importante kayo nga naata diri atong serbisyo diri Justin o Kuya Magic is to let the Cebuanos, the Filipinos know there is also a path nga diri lang ta. Kanindot kani ato ang nasod, nindot kani atong syudad, right?
There's a lot to encourage here. There's a lot of booming industries
Speaking
here as well that need people.
of syudad sa Sugbo, na ako'y kaila nga parehag apelyido nimo Justin.
Yeah.
Si Jaden Narvios. Kaning
okay.
it's been rumored that she is related to Justine Narvios.
Nah, I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Is it
I don't
a
know.
true story? But anyway,
No, I don't
you
know.
did your research. Justine Narvios did a little research. The genealogy, the DNA test, yun ni mo si Kuan Jaden kung pariente bagin mo unsa may resulta.
No, I would always tell every family member she's an alien.
She's an alien.
And then she would also tell every family member that I was just found in some dumpster. That's our story. Like we you know, my parents always make this joke. They're like, "Oh, Justine, she actually was just found at some dumpster at the side of the road."
Oh my God.
And then si Jaden, I would also say she was just some alien dropped at home. Because you know how babies...
Spaceship, right?
Spaceship na siya. You know how babies have... You know when they're like... Okay, do you know when babies are newborn and then they're... For some reason, they're like green?
Okay.
Is it just me or my sister who has that?
You have a green sister.
No, come on.
Oh
like,
my goodness.
Every person in the medical field, please help me confirm this. Like sometimes their backs are green. Does it make sense?
So see, Jaden is a green back.
She was a green baby, a green back baby.
Green back.
So that's why when I was a kid, I used to be like, oh, she's an alien.
Oh no.
She's probably just using human skin and there's like this zipper.
We were just talking about aliens a few days ago with our friends from the Astrophysics Society thing.
Yeah?
Harold Go, right? What's his name? Not Harold Go. What's his name? Christopher Go, right?
Christopher Go.
Christopher Go.
Cool.
So anyway,
and they would have something to know about my sister too.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah.
So your sister. Oh, wait a minute. So you're already admitting after much DNA testing and asking around, she is indeed your sister. This alien life.
An alien that we adopted, and then I was found in a dumpster.
So tell me more about this alien named Jaden Narvios. What do you know about this girl?
Yeah, so she's currently a 17-year-old grade 12 student in the ABM or Accounting and Business Management strand of Secretariat Ateneo de Cebu. She's a singer and a dancer, so she's always loved dancing for the longest time. But she started venturing into singing, especially after being signed under Viva Records.
I heard nga.
We're in the same label.
From your encouragement, nagsonger po na siya. Dili ang dancer.
I love how she says that. I appreciate that. Kaya ako pod, I wouldn't consider myself as a dancer. I can barely move, but she encourages me to pod. There are times when I feel like, Jaden, how do I freaking move to this song? Or Jaden, can you make some steps for me? And at the same time, she was not much of a singer at first. She sings good. In fact, she's good, but she's shy lang ba at first. Dancer na ha. So I always told her, Jaden, sing some songs. So I wrote some songs for her. I'm also a songwriter under Viva. And I felt like for the first few years of my for the first few years of my quote unquote career, when I was asked to write songs for other artists, I was like, you know what? I want to write for Jaden lang sa, because she's my sister.
Okay.
So I'm not writing for anyone else. I want to write for her. Like, and I'm so happy. She also likes the songs I write for. There's some songs nga I feel like I call her Nini. Nini, bati maning a song. I'm just gonna scrap it. Nini. Yeah, people call her Nini too.
Nini with a green bag.
She's gonna kill me after this interview.
We're just totally destroying Jaden Narvios this morning, right? So the least we can do is to play her song, right?
Yeah. So this is her. This song that you're about to play is one of her newest. No, her newest song under Viva Records.
Okay.
No? It's called "Say It," and it's about asking someone to admit something to you. It's a song in Hiligaynon, Bisaya, Tagalog.
Is your sister singing on this?
My sister, yeah. She's 17.
She's a TikTok. She's a dancer. You see her? Look her up. Jaden Narvios. Very good dancer.
Finally, local music has found a home. 5.1 TMC, the best of us.
Barado nga plema, kalisod sa
Ubo.
tunay kahupayan.
Maybe this time.
Someone request that?
Ang Blemex Forte Capsule.
Mediocre. Bulayog is incompetent. Mediocre.
Buba sa iyong daton, sa
kanang naay sakit bitaw ng murag your ears are infected. Bitaw baog, ibaog. I think I
So
don't know.
bulayog means like when you can't do anything.
I think that's related.
Yeah, kanang murag you're you're unable to do anything because you have that. Siguro, no?
I have no idea.
Mahimong mapalit sa nagunang butika o drugstore doon ninyo.
Are you in need of custom-made print for your products? Or thinking how to grow your business? Make your brand outstand in the market. Twin B Print Ads, your partner in print advertising, can think out of the box that suits your budget. From your personalized brand to retail and commercial business. Twin B Print Ads.
Because he couldn't find sound effects.
Siya na lang yung voice. His voice is the sound effect.
Samuka.
Guys, check out the new reel that's on TMC Facebook page. Go share it, guys.
So,
Jiggy and the Jurassic Socks, Part 1, out now.
Cabrera Street, Masaksa de Clase, Cebu now accepting enrollees for Bachelor of Science.
Harmony.
The newest institute, approved by CHED, guaranteed the lowest tuition fees ever in town. Enroll now to avail yourself of the free promo rate for the first 100.
Something to comment on the star belt na side, panghatag. Sorry, guys. Next time I'll try to bring the rainbow ones. I don't know if they taste different from the strawberry ones. Have you tried the rainbow ones?
Yeah, the rainbow ones.
I think yummier than this.
It's just multiple flavors.
Oh, more
I buy out the different flavors.
One by one. You know what aslum is? Aslum? Sour. You should say that when you eat aslum. Aslum. So aslum.
Oh, sobrang is Tagalog, right?
Sorry?
Sobrang.
Sobrang is Tagalog for like super.
Excessive.
What's the word beside sobrang?
Kaayo. But you,
Madayo.
no, you can use kaayo.
Kaayo.
Kaayo. So it's
Kaayo.
so for example, you
Very
use
much,
it at
very
very
much.
much. So you use it at the end. If in the sobrang it's before, like sobrang masarap. Here it's lami kaayo. Aslum kaayo.
So
Nimdut
sour
kaayo.
is
Sour is aslum.
So kayo aslong.
No, the other way around.
Aslong kayo.
There, you eat something or if something's good, lami kaayo. English lessons. I said
Top of the morning to everyone. You're
Top of the
listening
morning,
to
everyone.
Jiggy Juice.
And Justine Narvios.
And of course, Kuya Magic.
Hi. Good morning.
What's that?
What's the thing we just
That's
you
my
you just learned Kuya Magic? We were giving Kuya Magic Bisaya lessons. 'Cause right
Ay,
now he smuggled some
Aslong
sour
kayo.
belt. Yeah, what's it? Sorry?
Aslong kayo.
Aslum kayo daw,
Aslong
guys.
kayo, yung
Super sour. Guys,
So,
come and see behind the scenes. Come and see behind the
Yes,
scenes.
yes,
We
yes.
have our cameras on in the studio. If you're driving or if you're at home or if you're in the studio or wherever, come to Top's Media Center on Facebook and on YouTube. Come and see us behind the scenes. We're having fun here. We're having fun.
Yeah, and then go comment on our chat. Some Albert de Lima says here, Aslom kayo. Yeah, he gets it. See?
okay, aslong kayo ang ilok ni Kuya
Oy.
Magic.
Nice bullying.
According to Jennifer Amaro, he's good na
Hi, Tita Jen.
bulayog, di ba? Bulayog.
Tita Jen says, refers to being uncoordinated. It's an ear infection. Okay, that makes sense.
No, but buog is an ear infection. Right? So I'm not sure. I was just suspecting.
Yeah.
Nga kanang bulayog comes from buog, which is an ear infection.
I think that's why.
I'm curious
yeah.
if it actually means the same or it's related.
I think it's related because when you have an ear infection, you're supposedly uncoordinated. You can't even.
Kaya makabalance.
Di ka kabalance. If for example they eat the bugs in the right side of your ear, then you'll probably walk, magbarag-barag kaglakaw, and then you'll lean to your right and then fall. So yeah, I think it comes from that. Being bulay-og means being uncoordinated.
Or kaning incompetent. Pwede po,
Yeah,
pwede po, di ba?
incompetent.
Pwede po. How about you guys? What are your thoughts on being
an OFW.
An OFW. Like,
An overseas Filipino worker.
If you guys had a choice, kato mga tigpaminaw nga nara diri sa siyudad sa Cebu or maybe within the Philippines lang. What are your thoughts? If you had a choice, would you really stay here or are you here because you have no choice? Because there is a common perception na ang mga Pilipino kadaghanan lagi kay parente nga mulag wala pamilya diri sa Pilipinas. Ang ilahang mga
That they don't know anyone abroad at least.
Sila mga pariente.
It could be not a direct relative, someone that they know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So ngano man if you had a choice, would you want to stay here? Or
would you want to work abroad?
manglarga gid mo sa United States, manglarga gid mo sa wherever
Wherever it is,
the
yeah.
greener pasture
Let's hear
is.
from a lot of the people that's been.
You know what, Justin? I was just thinking, kanang gumulaga ka og laing nga lugar, you have the opportunity to restart. You have the what I call the clean slate phenomenon ba?
Yeah.
So kung ang imong kinabuhi diri kanang is a certain way, right? Yeah, dili kay kaganahan pero okay lang ana bitang murag kang blah. You know, like it's a life, right? Because you first of all you didn't appreciate how beautiful your life is and all that stuff, blah blah blah, right? But what I'm saying is, murag imong kinabuhi murag imong, for example, imong sweldo kanila, imong mga benefits kanila, blah blah blah. Pag human kaning kung moadto ka sa lugar nga lain, naka chance nga ma-wipe out to tanan nga imong nabuhat
start
katong
again.
mga imong mga gilad ug mga nindot nga nabuhat, kato imong mga sayop ug imong mga eksaktong nabuhat.
Yeah.
Imong mga sa ug imong mga nabuhat sa imong mga isigataw, imong kakaigsunan nimo ma-wipe out to siya in a way because you don't know anybody, so you can hyper focus on another thing. So na mo na siyang one of the benefits of leaving and going to another country, because you have the benefit of focus, because you have no choice but to focus because ikaw ra usa, wala ay mga amigo nimong manawag nimo niya mag-inom sa bay o manglabas sa bay, no, wala na siya kay bako pa magaliha. So what kay choice but to focus, and because of that newfound focus you succeed. Mo na nakabantay ka kadaghanan sa atong mga kaigsunan sa gawas, you're successful, right? No, gamay ra kay kang
I feel
madunggan
like
nga.
Filipinos in general are also very hardworking.
Of course.
We don't dili
Because-
pili on work.
Oh yeah,
That's what I heard.
That's correct. Because
Westerners are kind of picky pa. They feel like I won't do this. But Filipinos, tita mag-arte.
They
Like
don't.
if it helps us earn money, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And we'll do it with pride and do the work
because
well.
ang buhaton sa mga Pilipino kadaghanan, i-compute mo na sila in dollars and pesos, right? So, mabahala ng mga nilhin ko diri para akong kita mas dako pa sa
exactly.
engineer dito sa Pilipinas, di ba? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. The other people with that mindset.
So muna sila nga dili sila magpili, pero kung pasilhika ra gud niya always will do, lahi pa nang sila. So I don't want to be so cynical, but kadaghanan na, of course, because it pays well.
Yeah.
In fact, I have an uncle who I just met because we were having a little reunion in Dakit Parili. Nga nag-ingon siya nga kaning Jigbo, kaning Mon, ano na si Raymond Musa, eksaban so bana ato ang sekreto. Mon kaning Digo na siya, 17 na siya akit or 17 na siguro na siya. Wala pa niyo lang sa akong trabaho, kaya sayo di akong trabaho.
What's a man?
I don't know, but magtaon na siya, rivets sa kanang sa plano or whatever. Basta sayo doon kayo, very mechanical, very easy. He can do it with his eyes closed. So okay na yun niya. Yeah, karon na siya. Kasi he has a piece of paradise. He has a big house in Dakit Parili, but palasyo, marag mansion, ako kagita, and all of that stuff. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's
I
really also about the kaching,
Yeah,
whether
it's
you
about
like
the
it or not. Let's not forget the elephant in the room, right? I mean, it's all about
The cash also, the
it's all about the money, right?
Yeah, well, we need that to survive also. And again, it really boils down to what people would, what's their idea of successful? Is it more on the for example, the amount of money that you have? Is it about the title that you have? What, like, what kind of, do you want to just be known as, oh, I have this kind of job? Like, is that what's going to make you happy? If it is, then go for that. Just, titles are important. Earning money is important. That's what, sometimes I do think about that now, because when you're done schooling, when you're finished with everything, you have so much on your hands, and it's up to you na gid ba. So then you really have to redefine your own standard of what is successful.
What do you mean by you have so much in your hands?
So when you're in school, most of the time, your idea of success is still based off of what your parents tell you.
Yeah,
like, you gotta finish school.
Media. You
Media
have
also.
to include that, because most people that I know have more time in media than time with their parents, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
In
I
fact,
know what you mean.
In fact,
the influence is mostly from media.
In fact, sometimes magdungan na mo tanaw sa inyong parents. Di ba niya? Unsa man ang mga pangandoy, unsa man ang hinduto atong balaya o
katong sa episode niya. Yes.
Si Brad Pitt, wapo kang sapatos niya.
Hinduto pag-travel, no? Pareha ni Emily in Paris.
So,
Pangana.
Muna akong ginagawaton. Unsa akong nako na pagbuhat.
I get
Kung
that.
wala
That's true.
ko'y pamblite, di ba?
Yeah, that's true.
So
media and your parents, when you're studying, a lot of that is influenced by media or your parents or the people around you. And when you're finished with school now, you're done. Your parents have basically, if you look at it in a different perspective, they've already done their part. They've helped you finish school, right? So, like in my case, now is really the time, and for a lot of young adults who can probably relate to this, that you have to decide for yourself, what do you really want?
You have to decide for yourself. You're on your own, kid.
Yeah. And so for a lot of us, most of them would think that, you know what, I have the skill set, I have the opportunity, the chance is there to move abroad, to work abroad, so I'm gonna take that chance. And I would also say that it really, really depends on you. What is like what you can diskarte ba?
Nganong automatic man ka nga mo larga sa abroad? Nganong dili man ka
Pwede na po actually.
Suway ka dili karyo.
Try here.
Suwayan lang nimo karyo kung naabot yung kay madaw-daw rin, naabot yung kay ma-squeeze dere sa Cebu before ka mo adto sa laing lugar. Nganong automatic man nga mularga ka kay kaning everybody tells you nga wala ni pag-asang Pilipinas blah 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 blah.
Depends
blah,
again.
blah, blah,
That's your murag imuha na ng diskarte ba what you do. And I would really look one personal example. My father, he's an engineer, kid by profession, but right now he doesn't work in like the engineering field specifically. So when he was new, like around my age, a lot of his friends nga engineer would went abroad. Kaya maumagid ng trend at that time, Jiggy, like to earn a lot of money, you gotta move abroad. And they also had families like my dad. And it was sad because, you know, they had to be away from their families, but they valued their title as engineers. And they said, my dad ventured into the BPO industry because that's what was booming at that time.
The BPO industry, business process outsourcing,
yes,
right?
around the 2000s, though, a lot of these call centers opened up in Cebu, and you know it was big pay because these were mga foreign accountsmen.
Okay.
So my dad got into that, and he remembers he told me that a lot of his engineer friends would tell him, "Ngano ni adto man kaana nga we are engineers, nagot tay title engineers. Why would you go to a different industry? You worked hard to earn your title as an engineer. Why would you do something like that, right? May pampareha na lang ka na mo, mag-abroad me."
Diba?
But what my dad would always tell me is that di ka mag-inarte, don't be arte. If na a job opportunity right there in front of you, you jump into that. You gotta be ready to jump into every wave. You can't just be like, I did cool because it's like this, or the title is this, or the amount of pay is this, or di man siya this. My dad's always like, whatever opportunities that you have to be
right?
No, you have to be ready to jump. You can't just grab it and be unprepared.
Especially now in this day and age nga wala ka kibaw ang imong eskwelahan, ini-graduate mo ang imong trabaho. Wala na exist. Wala na exist, especially with AI now and all of that stuff. Dagan kayo mga kurso karon nga will be made kaning obsolete once they graduate. So wala ka kibaw kung unsang available na trabaho ugma. So ang importante is, like you said, you have to be nimble. You have to be able to you have to be a quick change artist, right? Na kinahanglan mo kausap na ka maka-jump into opportunities there, right?
You can adapt to a different industry. It's not all the time when what you work in is the same industry as what you studied or took for your undergrad.
Yeah, exactly.
Diba?
So pananglitan kani ato ang pagka radio personality kaning media. Possibly mani nga wala na ning trabaho pohon.
No.
Nanay.
No.
Nanay ginatawag nila og kaning
auto.
AI
auto.
AI. Oh, what are you doing?
You keep messing around with the voice changer.
I know.
Just press one. I think just one button. They changed colors. That's why, guys.
Button
Don't worry, guys. At the end of this month.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, it's embarrassing.
At the end of this month, he's gonna get a hang of it. It's fine. But yeah, you're right. There are a lot of jobs that are being replaced by AI now.
Dili ta magsalig nga atong trabaho ugma na pa ni wala kibaw ugma wala na ang mupuli ni Kuya Magic kay si Darth Vader. No, I am your father. Wala ta kabaw yun.
We never know. Yeah, that's true. So I guess we just gotta be able to jump into what industry is there. Maybe that's the mindset also of a lot of our listeners right now when they took up the opportunity to be OFWs. More like at that time, the chances there, and they gotta jump into it, diba?
Pero kanang naamgyud kurso, naamgyud kanang field nga murag di gyud mawagtan. Sa for example, kanang healthcare.
Oh yeah.
Si Kuya Magic masakit maginis Kuya Magic tanaw. Stress gets Kuya Magic. Everybody gets sick, right? Everybody
gets sick.
Needs healthcare. So mo nang importante na trabaho kanang nurse, kanang physical therapist, kanang mga radiologist, kanang sila importante na sila pero kay lisod mo gud pulihan ang tao nga mo abi-abi nimo mo gam nimo di ba?
Yes, exactly.
Mo, lisod na mapulihan. Pwede na mapulihan og robot siguro eventually, but how can you make that robots look like and seem like they care, right?
The most that you can do is, have you seen the Big Hero 6, that film? Si Baymax. Do you know Baymax?
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Do you know how Baymax is empathetic to people and he's like, oh, how was your day? Okay, he tries to comfort his patients also.
Yeah.
But we spoke about that before. There was this teachers congress, the say up, I forgot, but that where all teachers from different schools came together, and we talked about how AI is replacing humanity, and humanities in the sense of arts, and in the sense of like, why are, for example, teachers in humanities the subject still important despite AI being present. And we spoke about that, how empathy cannot be replicated by technology in a genuine way.
Absolutely.
Compassion,
they can pretend,
understanding,
right? Can pretend.
It's different. The human, the fact that we're imperfect, and the fact that we can empathize with each other, no technology can ever completely replicate that imperfection. So, like for example, in the psychology field, you can have like AI give you therapy. I mean, AI will listen to your problems and then give you a bunch of theories that can help you, and then mga practices na, oh, do this, do that. It can even go as far as probably take over the jobs of psychiatrists, but prescribe medicine to help you feel better. But the compassion that you feel when you're in that therapy session, the way that you feel there's an actual human being listening to you, probably understanding you, having the same emotional, or understands you in an emotional manner, technology can't do that.
But who knows? That might be
No.
programmed in.
No.
Maybe the AI will have empathy.
Yeah, or no responses, not to make it more human-like.
Exactamundo. No? It is now 10:38.
Hi.
Namina mo sa pinakasabuan ng radio station. Top of the morning to
Top
all
of the morning,
of you.
Everyone.
My name is Jiggy Juice.
And my name is Justine Narvios, and you're
we
listening.
have Korea Magic right beside me.
Yes.
And here is what I call a reverse scenario. Kani siya, nagpuyo ni siya sa Atlanta, USA.
Yeah.
Pero nibalik siya sa Pilipinas, sa siyudad sa Subo para maghimo og
music.
great music. I'm talking about